A sold-out Orange Bowl in Miami on a hot December day. And the Hurricanes have laid their warning down for the Hokies. And the Canes fans are hoping to dip into another national championship. Virginia Tech in Miami, presented by 1-800-CALL-AT&T, has the Hokies of Virginia Tech in to meet the #1 team in the country, undefeated Miami. The Bowl Championship Series standings entering the day look like this. Miami atop the heap, as they've been for much of the past 3 weeks. Ohio State already has earned a trip to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Georgia plays tonight. You can bet the Dogs are hoping for a Hokie upset. And USC and Iowa round out the top 5. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. My partner, as always, is Bob Greasy. Partner, it seems like the movie Groundhog Day. It seems like yesterday we did this, but it was actually 371 days ago in Blacksburg we got together. Miami in the same situation. One more hurdle, and it's a title game.
Well, Miami is ready for this ball game. I remember being on this field 30 years ago, and the feeling down there is electric. The players are ready. One game away from a championship opportunity, and that's what they're looking at.
They've got the weapons. There's 2 guys in this game that are obviously Heisman Trophy candidates. I can tell you, Kenny Dorsey and Willis McGahee aren't thinking about that right now.
The Hurricanes have had a lot of great quarterbacks and a lot of great running backs. These 2 guys at their positions may be the best at this level that have ever played here.
That's saying a lot. On the other side for Virginia Tech, they come in with a 9-3 record. They did have an undefeated streak going, 8-0 of their own. They lost 3 in a row. They beat Virginia in their last outing. Only 3 coaches in football have been at their schools longer than Frank Beamer. He knows how to coach, and these guys are ready.
I think Frank Beamer is the most underrated coach in all of college football. He is 0-5 against the #1 ranked team. He is capable of beating the Hurricanes here. He's won 2 of the last 3 times they've played here in the Orange Bowl.
They know how to block kicks. They know how to stop the run. They've got a running game with a dynamic duo that may be second to none.
Well, when you talk about Suggs and Jones as a tandem, they are the best in the country. And for the Hurricanes to win this ball game, their tackling is going to have to be superb against those 2.
As I said to Bob, it seems like yesterday, but it was a little over a year ago. The Canes and the Hokies got together. Kenny Dorsey had some stars in that game that are starring on Sunday now. But Virginia Tech had an ace in the hole, a freshman tailback that went for 160 yards, kept them close. Then Beamer ball took over. A block punt for a touchdown. How close did it get? A 2-point conversion was the fate for Virginia Tech. They were that close, that far away. The ultimate prize in college football aloft following a Rose Bowl victory over Nebraska. Minutes away from another opportunity to go to the title game with Willis McGahee. Is he playing his final game as a Hurricane? It is senior day. 20 were introduced. None received an ovation louder than number 11. Kenny Dorsey, 37-1 as a starter. As he meets his family at midfield, he's hoping for another shot at a national championship. 1-800-CALL-AT&T before we kick with a coach who's never lost a game as the 3rd man in our team, Lynn Swan. Lynn.
Thank you, Brad. Coach Coker, this is a big ball game. But if you had to hang your hat on one thing and you had a choice, your great offense or stopping Virginia Tech's run, which would it be?
They've got 2 great running backs, a great running attack. We've got to stop their run.
A lot of big things on the line in this ball game. How do you get your quarterback, Ken Dorsey, to focus on the task at hand?
Well, he's a mature quarterback. He's a senior. He knows what he needs to do. He knows the task at hand, and I don't think that'll be a problem. His focus will be there.
Coach, this feels like a bowl game.
All right, thanks, Lynn.
Brad?
There is Ken Dorsey, his final appearance in the Orange Bowl. Miami won the toss and deferred. It's 78 degrees. Forecasters for showers. You might have seen on the camera lenses, Swanee talked to Larry, some sprinkles coming down right now. The kick out of the end zone as Virginia Tech will have to work from its own 20-yard line. And the guy that'll lead them out, the quarterback who played so well when we saw him earlier this season against Texas A&M, is Brian Randall. And he adds a little bit of an added dimension, Bob, that they didn't have this time last year.
Well, they could run the football. It's last year Knowles was a quarterback. They couldn't run it. This guy's 7-3, and you're right, Brad. He played very well at A&M.
From the 20, first snap of the ball game as a tight end Jeff King swaps to the right side. Lee Suggs is the tailback. He'll get the call. And right into the thick of that Hurricane defense, and they swarm him under after a gain of about a yard. The Nivea for Men starting lineup. Here's the group up front. Jake Grove, they say, is about as nasty as you'll find in the Big East. Davis, Gibson, Owens, and Martin join him. Two of them seniors on the front wall. Suggs, the senior captain, is the tailback. Eastlick leads the way. King, the tight end. Wilford and Witten are the wide receivers. And Ernest Wilford is their big play guy if they go to the air. But there's Jake Grove. He sets the tone inside.
That's the top of the line. The bottom is the right tackle. Martin is a true freshman going against McDougal.
Out of the shotgun. Here's Suggs trying to take it wide, and the Canes defense brings him down. This time it's for a loss. Jerome McDougal led the way from his defensive end spot. Here's how it looks in this group. All seniors. Green, Walters, Joseph, McDougal up front, and they're deep with their second line. Vilma's the leading tackler, flanked by Williams and McIntosh. The secondary's been surprisingly good. Jennings and Roll on the corners, and Taylor and Sykes are the safeties.
Number one in the nation against the pass is Miami defensively.
There's the man that has the most tackles. Undersized, but he's ranging. John Vilma. He might be coming on a blitz. He'll back out of it. Randall in the pocket, in trouble. Down he goes. Virginia Tech is 3 and out to open their series. Matt Walters, one of the defensive captains, was the first guy there to rattle him.
You couldn't have scripted it any better for the Hurricane defense. 2 shut down on the runs, and then a sack on third down.
We talk so much about the special teams of Virginia Tech. Miami's not a slouch either. Parrish is back, but Burns is standing in inside his own 5-yard line. Miami knows how to block punts as well. Burns, line drive spiral, taken at the 36. Parrish with a dance. Now comes to the near side. Got a wall. Down the sideline. Spins back inside. He stepped out of bounds, but a great return.
He might be the smallest guy on the field, but he may be the dangerous.
Penalty marker down at the end of the play. 47-yard kick, a 42-yard return. He literally danced for about 4 seconds trying to find a wave of blockers and finally got him.
Personal foul on Miami. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Still a first down, but a 15-yard penalty at the end of the play against Miami. This is how Roscoe saw things.
Hey, just looking around. I'm waiting for some friends. Nobody's coming at me, and that's what Virginia Tech does. They get down, they hold their position, they don't commit. That way they don't miss blocks. I don't see any problems yet.
Right there. The last shot after he'd stepped out of bounds.
Yep.
And it's hard to blame the player trying to come over to block him. I don't think he knew he had stepped out.
You're right.
But they start at the 36. Do they want the quick strike? Dorsey down the middle. Inside the 15. Andre Johnson. And already Miami inside the red zone. 24-yard pass play. Kenny Dorsey, 37-1. It's just phenomenal. He holds all the passing records, and there have been some good ones that have played quarterback here.
We're not suggesting that if Dorsey wasn't there that Miami wouldn't have won 37 of those games. They may have won 33 or 32. I mean, they've got other quarterbacks that can, but Dorsey, sometimes when you need a quarterback to make a play or not to make a mistake, he's been there 37 out of 38 times.
First down. Goes again to Johnson. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 5. Nivea for Men starting lineup, and we better get through it or the Canes are going to be in the end zone here. Up front, Sherko Haji Razuli and Brett Romberger, the seniors. Joseph Myers and Carey join him on the front wall. McGahee, the tailback. Hill, the fullback. Kellen Winslow will be big today. We expect it. Tight end and Johnson and Parrish are the wide receivers. And Kellen Winslow, the leading receiver coming into this game with 44 catches. That has been matched now by Johnson with back-to-back grabs. McGahee, left side. Got down inside the 2. Sandage made the tackle. He's one of the 4 up front with Colas, Lewis, and Adibi. The linebackers, they got Vegas Robinson back a couple of games ago. That's helped. McKee and Manning joined him. Manning scored a touchdown last year in this game. Hall, Hardy, Pyle, and Whitaker is the secondary.
2 freshman defensive tackles in there ahead of Robinson, the linebacker. One's a true freshman, one's a redshirt freshman. 1st and goal, Miami.
Their opening drive. McGahee puts his head down. Got close, but not quite. McKee made the tackle, but he's about a foot away from the goal line. McGahee, #1 rusher all-time, single season rushing mark. Almost 1,500 yards, and he's already set a single season school record for rushing touchdowns with 21. Both those records belong to Edgerton James before #2 came along this year. Looking for his 22nd touchdown, possibly. 2nd and 1. He's got it. Touchdown, Miami. McGahee, his 22nd rushing score of the year. Just like that, Bob.
Well, they had great field position from the punt return by Roscoe Parrish. You give a good offense only less than half the field to go on their opening drive, and look out.
Seaver's extra point is good. As Bob said, short field. Didn't take long. Never seems to with the Hurricanes. They're on the board already with 11:13 to go first quarter. They lead by a touchdown. The Nissan scoring drive was a short drive. 36 yards in a minute and a half following the punt return. If that minute and a half seems low, average drive time for Miami, a minute 54. 34 drives under 2 minutes. 34 of 60. 17 of them touchdowns. Seaver's kick. This one's returnable. No, it's not. Richard Johnson saw it take a bad hop at about the 3 and let it go. So Virginia Tech's defense went the wrong way the first time they got it.
This is what the Hokies want to do. They want to control the game with the run, take some time off the clock, make first downs. Defensively, hassle Dorsey, make him move his feet, get him out of the pocket, and score on special teams. They're not going to win this game without a score on the special teams.
That our 1-800-CALL ATT Game Solutions. First down again. Virginia Tech now their second offensive drive. From the 20. Coming up throwing, not to the fullback, and Eastlake's got it. Randall, good throw as he rolled out, got about 5.
This is what the Hokies need to do. They need to control the game with the run. This is an option play last year against Miami. They need to hassle Dorsey, make him move, get him outside the pocket, and then score on special teams. Again, last year's game, blocked the punt late in the game. Could have tied it with a 2-point conversion, but didn't.
2nd and 5. Virginia Tech. Here's the option Bob talked about it. Suggs on the corner, and he's got the corner and the first down.
You knew you'd see that play early.
Run out of bounds after it picked up 7. Sean Taylor made the tackle.
This was one of the only 2 or 3 good running plays that they had in the game last year. Randall just going to come down, option off the defensive end, kind of throws it early.
Nice block by Eastlake.
Exactly, and Suggs outruns Green, number 55.
So a first down, and Virginia Tech looking to calm down a little bit. Eastlake led the way that time, and he'll have a new guy behind him in Kevin Jones. First down, Hokies at the 32. It's a draw play to Jones. And Jones stood up after a gain of about 2. Jamal Green was there to make contact with DJ Williams, the outside linebacker.
We've just seen a couple of plays that you're going to see all day in their game plan. The option and the draw. Set up like a pass, let the pass rush, let the defensive linemen separate themselves, find some spaces, and then get in there.
There's the offensive breakdown.
Look at this right here. They want to run the ball. They don't want to throw it.
2nd down and 8. Opening quarter, just 5 minutes old. Miami already leads by a touchdown. Randall, play action, lofts it out for his fullback, incomplete. And that play wasn't too good looking from the get-go because the play fake had nobody thinking about a run, and Randall ended up on his backside. William Joseph put the pressure on.
Bob and Brad, I talked to Randy Shannon before the game, the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, and he said third down is going to be critical for them. They want to force Virginia Tech in a lot of third and long. He's going to bring 9 men up, something he doesn't normally like to do, but he'll play a lot of 9-men fronts in this ballgame.
All right, Swanee, they're only a 37% team on their third down conversions. They've got a long one here, 3rd and 8. And now it's Randall trying to change things up at the line. It's a noisy place to do it. Option again. He'll keep it this time. Lost the ball. Fumble. Who's got it? Miami. Alfonso Marshall with a fumble recovery.
You can't turn the ball over on the road against Miami and expect to win. 3rd and 8, a passing situation. They go to the option. That's okay. Just hang on to the football. Miami is not good at taking the ball away this year. They're 92nd in the nation in turnover margin. Last year they were number 1.
McDougal's the guy that put the hit on Randall from behind. And again, a penalty after the change of possession. Backs Miami up inside its own 45. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Miami. They are last in the Big East in penalties, or should I say first.
Well, they're the 8th most penalized team in the nation out of 117. There's only 7 that are penalized more than Miami.
First down, would have had it at the 42 of Virginia Tech. Instead, from their own 43. Draw play. Here goes McGahee across midfield. Down to the 49, a pickup of 8 as we check in with John in New York.
Well, Brad, of course, the big Army-Navy game, as they like to say, throw out the records. Craig Candido takes off, as he calls his own number, and goes 42 yards for the touchdown, 21-6. Navy with the lead, looking for their 2nd win of the year.
Second down, long 2. Dorsey to throw. Deep sideline, Andre Johnson's wide open, and he's gone. Touchdown, Hurricanes. .49-yard touchdown strike. Somebody blew a coverage.
Well, they fooled them with the formation. They lined the fullback up as a wide receiver, and Johnson lined up normally in a fullback spot just off the tight end.
Andre Johnson's 9th touchdown catch of the year. It's 14-0 Miami in the opening 6 minutes. Larry Coker's team already up 14, thinking about Tempe.
Let's go back and take a look at this play. The 2 receivers are here. The tight end and the Andre Johnson, the wide receiver. The fullback is lined up way out here. Now watch as they come off the line of scrimmage. The Johnson took off. The 2 receivers, the 2 defensive backs are covering the tight end. Now when you find Johnson again, the wide receiver, one of their best receivers, nobody's near him.
The question on the play becomes, did he step out right there at the 15?
And there's an official looking right down the sideline. It looks to us as though his foot was out of bounds.
Nonetheless, it's a touchdown, and it's 14-0. Severs has got it teed up. Sudden change. And another short scoring drive. This one's 40 seconds.
And a nice call by Rob Chudzinski, the offensive coordinator, jumping at him. As soon as you get an advantage, you get the momentum going your way, you get a takeaway, come right back with a good play. Nice call.
Rain starting to come down, with Miami already in front by 2 touchdowns. Isn't dampening the fans' enthusiasm, that's for sure. Severs to kick. Johnson's a deep man, and again they're going to have somebody come in and hold this thing now as the wind has started to gust. Moss will come in to hold for Severs, and you can see the rain intensifying. We expected showers today. We'll hope that it's a passing one. Johnson will take this one from the 5. Runs right into a wall of orange at about the 19 and bounces to the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by AT&T. AT&T Wireless brings you M-Life, your mobile life made better. Nissan and your Nissan dealer. Budweiser, delivering beer at its best with a crisp, clean, and refreshing taste known only to the king of beers. And Aflac, ask about it at work. Always love that shot from that end zone of the Orange Bowl with the palm trees in the background, and Kenny Dorsey is thinking about his favorite receiver who's just matched Vinny Testaverde and Michael Irvin and what they did 19 times they hooked up, and Dorsey and Johnson have now likewise after that 49-yarder. Here's Suggs on the option pitch, and that has been the best play in both directions so far. Pickup of a little over 8. Obviously all the great players that have played for the Hurricanes here, and as Bob said, number 11 and number 2 are two of the better ones.
And you talk about Testaverde and Jim Kelly and Bernie Kosar, and you go on and on. Clinton Portis, the running back, Edger and James. I don't think anybody did it better at Miami than Willis McGahee has done this year.
And Jones is stuffed this time. Vilma and Andrew Williams met him in the hole, and that was it.
Well, this defense prefers to play a team that likes to throw the football. The ends like to rush the passer. The defensive backs like to cover and intercept balls. But that is not the style of this offense for Virginia Tech. The positive thing about Virginia Tech is if they can run it, Miami has not been, history-wise, this year that good at stopping the run.
Jimmy Johnson, who won national championship with Miami, looking on. Here's the pitch, and this time it's a loss of 4. And trail roll. Rolls up to make the stop.
Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes, is a smart guy. He knows how he got hurt last year. He saw the 2 plays this year that hurt him already in this ball game. It's just an option to the top of the screen. But the defensive back gets up across the line of scrimmage and makes the play on their offensive side.
Second 3 and out. Again, and not a very good punt. Roscoe Parrish took the last one 42 yards. He's not going to be able to touch this one as he gets out of the way, and Kevin Jones will down it at about the 29-yard line. So it's Miami in front by 2 touchdowns. Ken Dorsey's folks looking on. Their team up 2 scores. Down pass. McGahee has run one in. 14-0 Hurricanes, and 6:50 remaining in the first quarter.
2 possessions for Miami, 2 scores.
This time they start at their own 29-yard line. Straight up the middle, across the 30. That's about it. Our 1-800-CALL-ATT game solutions. Here's how it looks for Miami.
What Miami wants to do is balance run and pass. Defensively, they just want to tackle. The linebackers, the defensive backs, those are the ones I'm talking about. When Suggs and Jones get past them, they need to tackle, and no surprises on special teams.
So far, they're perfect on all 3. With a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown. Great play by their defense, forcing 2 3 and outs out of 3 possessions. Dorsey, now they're getting some heat on him. And out of the pocket, he does not run often, and he gets what he can and ran out of bounds. I loved what you and Swanee were saying to the coaches the other day about whether or not he's ever crossed the line of scrimmage this year.
I've never, not too often have I seen Ken Dorsey, and I was kidding him about it, cross the line of scrimmage, either scrambling or on a quarterback sneak. Everybody's covered. And the thing that he does well is he buys time. He's only been sacked 15 times in 680 passes the last 2 years.
He's been sacked 8 times this year. Crudup had the other 3. Only 11 sacks allowed by the Canes this year. 3rd down and 3. 3 wide out. Grouping for Dorsey. Quick throw outside. Incomplete. Intended for Parrish. Nice defense by D'Angelo Hall.
Very nice by D'Angelo. If that ball would have been thrown where it could have been caught, I think Hall would have caught it and taken it the other way. He's got 4 interceptions. 1 for a touchdown this year. He is their big play guy on defense.
So Capshaw will come in to punt. And remember, Virginia Tech blocks kicks better than anybody in the country, and Capshaw's had 3 blocked. High snap. He just got it out of there.
Got a flag.
Hall on the other end, and a flag down there as well, as it's going to be a halo violation on one end and a roughing the punter on the other.
Well, it's roughing the punter. Miami was going to get it back until the halo violation. Now they're probably going to have to kick it again and risk getting it blocked again.
Exactly. So it's all coming down to the officials. Dennis Hennigan is our referee. See if his mic works this time. Roughing the punter.
You got half the officials are at one end of the field, the other half are at the other end of the field.
There you see both calls. So let's everybody come back to the line of scrimmage.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Halo violation on the kicking team. The penalty's offset. Repeat 4th down.
Just gives Virginia Tech another opportunity to do to Capshaw what other teams have done. 5 blocks this year.
They blocked 8 kicks, 5 of them punts, as Bob just mentioned, and Capshaw's had 3 blocked, 1 partially blocked.
Now, we say that and we put Capshaw's name with it, but it's not his fault.
That's right.
Necessarily. It's a team.
They got close again, but he got a beauty up and hung it down to the 15-yard line. And then hit from behind, crossing the 25 was D'Angelo Hall, and now a flag flies in late again. And I mean 4 seconds after the play was over.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on Virginia Tech. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
So this big one goes against the Hokies, but they do have the ball back, trailing by a couple of touchdowns. And there it is. Hall came up after being tackled and let Sean Taylor have it in the chest. And Frank Beamer says, oh boy, what else can go wrong?
We couldn't see anything there, but I'm sure there was some talking going on that Hall reacted to. And there's Frank going back and talking to him about it. Virginia Tech has had the negative field position starting at their own 20 or less their first 4 times they've had the ball.
Twice it was 3 and out. From the 14, Jones in at the tailback spot. Behind a 2, tight end set again, going down for a loss, but he broke a couple of would-be tackles, and he still lost 4. McIntosh, the first there. Let's check in with Lynn.
Well, Bob and Brad, I'm with a man who has won a couple of national championships and Super Bowls. Coach Jimmy Johnson, how are you doing? When was the last time you were back on this football field?
Well, it's the Orange Bowl, my last game before I went to the Dallas Cowboys, and it's a thrill. You're going to be back here in a packed house and the excitement. And Larry Coker and this coaching staff done a great job with this team.
Larry asked you to come back and talk to his football team before the game. What did you tell him?
Well, I couldn't tell him anything that Larry hasn't already told him. The only thing is I said, I've been talking to teams for 35, 40 years, and it's always one play at a time. Don't worry about what's next week or what's down the road. Focus in on one play at a time. Do your responsibility, do your job, and then you'll play like a champion like you've been playing for the last couple of years.
All your teams had talent. Everybody's saying, is it Larry Coker or is it the talent of Miami? How good a job has he done as a coach?
Well, yeah, I think he's done a great job. He was my quarterback coach back when I was at Oklahoma State many, many years ago, and 90% of his coaching staff either work with me somehow, and so I've got a lot of feeling for all of them, and he's done a fantastic job. He's kept them on an even keel. I talked to the president of the university earlier. I said, I was always sky high or rock bottom. Larry's the perfect man for the job.
All right, I know they're glad to have you back. Thank you, Coach.
All right, Lynn.
On a 3rd and 4, Randall out in the flat to Jones. Nice cutback to the inside, and Jones has a first down out at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I like the call. You got 4 wide receivers. You spread the Miami defense out, and then you throw it to your best running back. It's just like an extension of a handoff. Looks downfield, lets the linebackers drop. Now Jones out there in open field, just slides inside of Vilma and Sharp for a first down.
So first down at the 30. 40 yards for Virginia Tech. An even 100 on 10 plays for Miami. And a 2-touchdown difference. Now Suggs back in there. Randall will keep it up the middle. 3 or 4. Vilma on the inside to bring him down. Conference crown and a BCS bid are on the line when number 9 Oklahoma takes on number 12 Colorado in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. That's tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports, the class of college football. And here a trip to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is on the line for Miami. If they can win, they're off to a great start in the first quarter at home, up 14. Second down and 6. Again, Suggs in motion. And Randall again will keep it. He's going to be about 2.5 yards shy of the first down. McIntosh, the linebacker, in on the stop. Thinking about what Jimmy told Lynn on the sideline, and it's so true, the even keel that this team seems to be on under Larry Coker, and it's just sort of a reflection of their coach, I think. And an repeated line of his is that only one team is in the Fiesta Bowl. Their ticket's been punched. That's Ohio State. We're first in line at the ticket booth, but we ain't there yet.
Yeah, 2 games ago they were saying, well, how do you feel about Ohio State? He said, hey, we got 2 games to play yet before we can even talk.
Third down and 3. Play action again, flaring it out of the backfield, and it's Humes, a fullback, and he's got plenty of room to work. All the way down to the 37-yard line. Deepest penetration of the day and the biggest play of the day for the Hokies goes 26 yards.
It's a nice design, well designed. They're throwing the ball to their backs, much more so. Watch the 2 wide receivers come in here, and the back is going to slide out into the flat. The 2 wide receivers come in. Now the guy that's got to pick him up is the linebacker right here, but he's way inside. Nice design play, safe play for the Hokies.
Now they'll run out of the shotgun. And let's see if they go to that quick opening draw to Suggs. And they won't get the play off. Penalty markers down.
Dead ball foul. Illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
So another penalty against Miami. That'll make it 1st and 5 and move it inside the 35.
A big drive here for Virginia Tech. Big drive. They're down 14. They're on the roll. All the momentum. This crowd has been quiet this whole drive, and if they can get this into the end zone, they're right back in it.
Miami has taken a timeout with 2 minutes and 34 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Larry Coker's team is up by 14. First down and 5 now for Virginia Tech following that Miami penalty. 7th play of the Hokies drive. Here comes a blitz from the corner. The handoff is to Suggs out of that shotgun, and it only got about a yard. DJ Williams and Jerome McDougal in on the stop. Suggs, of course, as everybody knows, missed all of last season. Went down early in the game against Connecticut. Lost for the year with a torn ACL in his left knee, and boys, he battled back to have another fine season in this his senior campaign. Over 1,200 yards rushing coming in.
He's got the speed. Kevin Jones, the other running back, kind of got the shake and bake. I'd take either one of them.
So would I. 2nd and 4. Randall. Got a man open the middle. It's Milford. And Ernest Wilford has got a first down inside the 25-yard line.
Well, Milford is the guy they want to get. Wilford's the guy they want to get the ball to. He's the top receiver right here. He's just going to come in and do a little stop route. Let everybody go around him.
Did you see him cup his hands around the face mask of his helmet and yell at Randall Bryan, here I am.
Yeah.
And he got him.
Quarterback's looking deep to short, and the outlet is always the short guy.
At the 24, first down. Hokies have something working here. Option. Randall got away from the first would-be tackler, which was Will Fork, who would have had him for about a 3-yard loss. Reminder tomorrow, John Saunders and Terry Bowden will be at Times Square Stadium. They'll reveal who's in and who's out of the Bowl Championship Series. Don't miss the Tostitos BCS Selection Show tomorrow, live at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. You can get complete BCS standings and previews of all 4 BCS Bowls, too, on ESPN.com. Keyword BCS. Second down and 10.
Just wait around and everything, play all the games, and they'll all be decided.
Under a minute in the first quarter. Both wide receivers down to the near side, and that's where Randall's looking and throws complete. And it's going to be another first down. This one's Richard Johnson. So a couple of pass plays pick up first down. This one a gain of 11.
That'll give the young quarterback some confidence. Johnson working on roll, just going to go down, break to the inside a little bit. Brian Randall is a true sophomore. He's in his second year at Virginia Tech. Played a little bit last year and then he's played every game this year.
He can be streaky. In that A&M game we talked about, he hit 10 straight.
How about against Syracuse? Threw for over 500 yards.
Big East record and 5 touchdown passes. Here he's going to run a quarterback draw on first down. And he gets upended as he got inside the 10. DJ Williams was one of the first there. Got help from Orion Harris. So Virginia Tech down close, and they may have to switch ends before another snap. Frank Beamer has seen his team calm down a little bit. First it was a punt return that set up a Miami touchdown. Then a turnover led to another. At the end of the first quarter, all Miami, but Virginia Tech is threatening. They're 3 quarters away from a date in the big game. 14-0 Hurricanes. 1-800-CALL-ATT. First quarter belonged to the Canes, 14-0. And time of possession, that's what Virginia Tech wanted to do, is keep the ball. The problem with Miami is it doesn't matter with them.
That graphic is just what everybody wanted. Virginia Tech wanted to control the clock, take time off the clock, make first downs. They've done it, but Miami's up 14-0.
Miami only used 2 minutes and 10 seconds combined for their 2 scores. This is the 12th play of the Virginia Tech drive, though. At the Canes 10. Randall pump fakes and now takes off to the end zone. Did he get there? Not quite. Sean Taylor lifted him up at the 1-yard line. He's taken some hits today, running with the football, but he's got him down close now. Bob said earlier in this drive that started a long time ago that this was an important one for Virginia Tech, and now they're close.
I like this. He pumps Vilma and the linebackers. The middle linebackers take off to get the screen. There's nobody in the center of the field. That's what a running quarterback gives you, a little extra dimension.
Lee Suggs has scored in 25 straight football games. Not this time, though. Dropped at the 1. Will Fork again on the inside of that defensive front. The big guy at 350 pounds. There's Big Vince.
He's a good one.
He is.
You know, they lose their top 6. Well, 6 of their top 7. They lose 6 fifth-year seniors, but not Will Fork. He is the only one back. That whole defensive line will be rebuilt next year.
Again, a power eye look. At the 1. Here's Suggs to the end zone. No! Did he get there? Yes! Sean Taylor ran him out, but he hit the pylon, and it's touchdown, Virginia Tech. His 18th rushing touchdown of the year.
He kind of relaxes here at the end, thinking that he saw a lot of green space and it was going to be easy until Sean Taylor was there.
Too much speed to relax at any time in this game. 26 straight game with a score, his continuing NCAA record. Carter Worley in for the point after. Snaps a little wide, but the kick is good. And just a minute 10 seconds into the second quarter, Virginia Tech's made it a ball game. Randall's pitch to Suggs from a yard out. 14-7 Canes.
Let's go back to the last play. Suggs is going to take a little option and run around the end. Watch 26, Sean Taylor. He's going to mirror him. Taylor kind of relaxes at the end. He sees all that green space. Then he has to stick the ball out at the end just to get it in.
And he was in. capping off the Pontiac scoring drive of 86 yards. Good looking drive. 14 plays, almost 7 minutes. And they had a couple of key third downs on that drive, and they passed for them. Randall got one to Jones and one to Humes on third downs that kept it going.
Big drive there to answer.
Jared Payton runs up on the kick return. And Payton up the middle and out to the 30-yard line. 25-yard kick return by Jared Payton. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by AT&T. AT&T Wireless brings you M-Life, your mobile life made better. Pontiac, fuel for the soul. Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light, cold down easy. And Pacific Life. Annuities, insurance, and investments rely on the strength of Pacific Life. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew at the Orange Bowl in Miami, where it's a ball game now, 14-7. After Virginia Tech's long scoring march.
Big Winston there at fullback.
Here's McGahee trying to cut back and got back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Mike Daniels, the linebacker, made the stop.
Eric Winston, the big tight end, 87 there, is a true freshman, is really impressed. And to get more playing time, he's spending part of his time at fullback, especially with the injury to Kyle Kolbia.
Not only will Rob Chudzinski tell you, but his teammates will tell you he's one of the smartest whips on the whole team. He knows everybody's position.
And as is Kellen Winslow, the guy in front of him, is a very bright guy also.
2nd and 10. Straight up the middle is McGahee. And almost snapped it out for a first down. Crawford made the stop after he got about 9. Coming up on Monday night, Al Michaels and John Madden will be right here in Miami. And we'll see if Ricky Williams can get on a tear as he leads the Dolphins offense against a tough defense, though, and Brian Urlacher and company. It's the Bears and the Dolphins, Monday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC Sports. 3rd down and inches. And it's McGahee trying to go wide for it, and he just at the end squirted through all the Hokie tacklers, and he got the first down by about a foot. Monday night matchup that we talked about is going to be a big celebration, an anniversary of 30 years to go back to a perfect season. Nobody did it before, nobody's done it since, maybe no one ever will. 17-0 and a Super Bowl championship for Don Shula and my partner to my right. And on first down, Dorsey pumps one way and comes back the other, and a nice play to break it up. Incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd down. And the architect of the perfect season, 17-0, Don Shula. Right. Coach, good to see you.
Good to see you. Robert, how you doing?
Missing that money, Coach.
That money's part of golf, though, right?
Golf money. Oh, yeah, the golf money.
Send a cab for me, okay?
In the Pro Football Hall of Fame, the winningest coach ever. And Don, you know about, Bob mentioned earlier, trying to win a game to get to a championship game on this field, and sometimes the one to get there is harder than the one once you do get there.
Right, and there's a lot of pressure on the Hurricanes, but they're such a great football team, and it's been a tremendous year. And you know, they jumped out ahead, but now it's a ball game, 14-7.
Larry Coker has done such a tremendous job, and it seems like this team and these kids are a reflection of what he's had going here.
Yeah, I like everything that I've seen and heard about Larry Coker, and the way that their team has responded, and you know, the class act that they are. It's just it's a pleasure to see that down at the University of Miami.
Well, you know, not only was he a first-year coach, but his offensive coordinator, Chudzinski, and his defensive coordinator, Randy Shannon, were also new first-time coordinators. So all those coaches down there were in different positions they had been in before, and they won every game.
That's why I think it's so important that you give Larry credit for what he's done. I think too many people assume that he took over a great program and it's just been pushing the button. Yeah. But he's done a great job of coaching and molding this team to his personality.
Well, I think you have to give some of the credit to Butch Davis, who really came in the mid-90s and turned the program around. They really cleaned it up, and then Butch just took off and ran with it. Now, I don't know how much credit you need to give the coaches. I think it's all done to the players.
I knew he was going to bring the quarterback into it pretty soon.
Well, Bob hasn't changed a bit.
No, he hasn't changed a bit. From the 40 after the penalty, Dorsey deep's got Johnson again. And it's first down Miami. Big play wide receiver and a good quarterback. You got to have them both. Don, you had them both.
I had them both. I had number 12 doing it for me, and when he got hurt, Earl Morrow stepped in and did a great job. But Dorsey reminds me a lot of number 12 because he's a field general. He runs that team, and he knows the offense inside and out, and he makes the play when he's got to make the play.
Well, that's what I like about Dorsey. He's not the biggest guy, the strongest, not the fastest or the quickest.
That's what I said. It reminds me of you.
Oh, okay, touche. It got even real quick.
Boy, you're not kidding. Andre Johnson over 100 yards already. Dorsey to him again. And just overshot him. Had him close.
That's the thing I like about Miami is they'll take chances and go down the field. And he's got two great guys to go to, Andre Johnson and Kellen Winslow Jr.
I know, the Winslow name brings back some memories here in the Orange Bowl. What a game that his dad played against us.
One of the greatest of all times in the overtime.
And young Kellen is an outstanding player. We've seen him a couple of games. We've watched him in practice. He is outstanding. Going to be a great player.
Right, and he took his time, and he studied under a good tight end last year, and now it's his turn.
Yes.
Kind of followed Jeremy Shockey around like a puppy, Rob Chudzinski said, and he said basically Shockey just sort of taught him how to play the tight end position. Coach, I want to ask you, I've asked Bob this many times, in that undefeated season, you had some close calls. Now, Miami's had a couple in the last 2 years, BC, and, they're having some other close calls.
Florida State this past year.
Right, exactly. What was, you remember the closest one you guys had?
Well, I think it was our third ball game against Minnesota at Minnesota. We're down by 10 points late in the ball game, and we had to have 2 scores to win it. We're down by 8. We got the field goal first. They got the ball back and took it in for a touchdown drive.
Miami trying to get another touchdown drive going here. 3rd down and 5. Harris in motion toward the ball. Dorsey over the middle to McGahee, trying to get to that first down marker, and I think he got there. Delangelo Hall made the stop, but McGahee so shifty right at the end it looked like he picked up the first down.
That's one of the nice things about McGahee and why he, I think, is one of the top running backs ever to come out of the University of Miami, is because he does it all. He's got the running game, he's got the speed, he catches the football. He came in today, he's had 22 receptions coming in, and he can block.
Yeah, complete back.
He's a guy like Jim Kick back in our time where he can pick up a linebacker who is blitzing.
So first down, Winston's in because Kellen Winslow just limped out a moment ago. The drive has gone over 4 minutes and 52 yards so far. Play action. Dorsey going to the end zone. And going to have a pass interference call on Willie Pyle. He never turned around to look for the ball. It was intended for Ethnic Sands.
It's the inside receiver, the slot receiver, going to go straight up the field. Pyle, number 35, is going to pick him up. Never sees the ball, as you said, Brad. I don't know about that.
That's pretty close.
Bob, let me tell you one thing. Ethnic Sands wasn't really looking for that ball. He was coming down the middle of the field, looked back into the backfield when he saw the ball, then all of a sudden got a little burst of speed. This ball is imminently catchable, and I question the flag.
Yeah. Well, it was a safe throw by Dorsey because he knew the defensive back wasn't looking, and the receiver was, so he could just throw it up there with the confidence that the receiver would knock it away if the defensive back turned around.
So with a penalty, it's 1st and goal. Miami at the 4-yard line of Virginia Tech with 9:32 to go in the half. Miami leads by a touchdown. Extra tight end in there. Winslow's back. The handoff's McGahee. He's in. Touchdown, Miami.
What a weapon.
As he continues to pile on the rushing touchdowns, his 23rd of the year. His own ongoing record.
The thing I like about the drive is when Virginia Tech came right back and turned the game to 14-7.
They had the answer.
Miami answered, went right down and said, hey, all right, we're going to go down and score.
Extra point is up and good. 9:27 till halftime. Defending champions have won 33 in a row. They're looking for number 34 here at home. Virginia Tech Miami game presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT. Miami came right back down the field, 70 yards in 10 plays.
Key play on that drive was the 31-yard completion to Andre Johnson on 3rd and 10.
So Seaver's set to kick it away. Richard Johnson is the deep man. chance at this one. Takes a high hop at the 5. Johnson straight up the middle. Not a bad return. Out across the 25. During that timeout, Frank Beamer spent most of those 2 minutes lobbying the officials. And I know the guy to my right here would never have done that in his coaching career. How much does it help, Don?
I've been down that road.
I've seen some looks on his face that would kill. I've known this man for a long time, and he's a gentle man until he gets on the sideline and he wants something.
Then that jaw starts to jut out a little bit.
It's been known to do that.
Yes, it has. First down from the 26. Jones in there at tailback. Nice play fake out of bootleg. Randall will keep it. He's got a little seam to work with. Good runner. And he got almost 10.
You know, 30 years ago, when we went undefeated, we went right here on this field. And now the Hurricanes, for the last 2 seasons, have gone undefeated. What is it about? Is there anything about this old place?
I'll tell you, this Orange Bowl brings back so many great memories. And in the way that the crowd is right on top of you, they're in the game.
Yeah.
And you don't find that in a lot of stadiums. And I think crowd noise was invented down here in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah.
A game against Jaworski when he was a quarterback. And
one other thing was the heat.
The heat is certainly, a real...
Fumble. Miami might have another one. Starting to unpile bodies, they do. Jones put it on the ground, and McDougal's the guy that scooped it up. And they don't need to help Miami. Frank knows that. McIntosh made the hit. Suggs never fumbles, it seems. Jones put it on the turf.
That's 2 turnovers and a punt return for Miami that put him in field in touchdown short range.
Both turnovers in their own territory. And Coach Beamer can't believe it.
He just can't do it.
Not against this team, as they might try to score right here at the 35. Dorsey dumps it off. McGahee. Nice cut. Left one man holding air, and he's out of bounds at about the 19.
He does it all.
It's just a well-designed play. He wanted to go deep. He looked at his options deep, and then at the last minute, when everything was covered, take a look at number 2 now. He's going to look downfield. Everything is covered. Number 2 is sliding out right here. He's just going to give him the ball with all that space and let him do something. Whoop.
Whoa. The key is the protection. He had all day to sit back there and look downfield and then wait for the drop-off.
Kenny Dorsey's played 38 games as a starter. He's never had a grass stain on his butt, I don't think. Here he is, play action, going to the end zone to Johnson. Just overshot it. Had him by a step, and Kenny knows it.
And you see the reaction of Dorsey, and you know why, because he had to throw it real early, because the area that he was throwing to, he had to throw it a long way, and to get it there, he had to let it go long before Johnson made his move. And when you do that, you're just kind of guessing where he's going to come out of.
Miami's possessions, 3 touchdowns, 1 punt, and they haven't used much time on anything.
And Johnson keeps getting open.
Yeah.
Every time you look up, he's open.
He's attempted 7 passes to Johnson, has Dorsey. He's caught 4 of them. McGahee, this time, showing his power. Whitaker made the tackle. Billy Hardy lost his hat trying to make the stop. Pickup of 7 for McGahee. Well, it helps to have a great back. We talked about you having a couple of great quarterbacks, Coach Shula, but you had a backfield too that wouldn't quit.
Well, one year they both were over 1,000 yards. Zonka, and then Mercury Morse was right at 1,000. And Jim Kick stepped in and helped us when we needed help there. That was the beginning of situation substitution.
Using your third down guy.
Right, using the best guy for the situation.
At the 12-yard line, Miami trying to drive to another score with 7:25 left in the half. 3rd down and 3. McGahee again. Waits for his blockers. Now he breaks free. 1st and goal. Brandon Manning saved a touchdown. This looks like a team possessed trying to get to Tempe.
Gahey, there's several opportunities to tackle Gahey, and he doesn't go down.
And Brad, you're absolutely correct when you talked about McGahee waiting for his blocking. 2 plays in a row. He came up to the line. It's almost as if he slowed down to let the blocking form, then made a decision, and he gets the great yardage.
And it is 1st and goal at the 3. McGahee's got 2 already today. This time, not quite. Brought down at the line of scrimmage. You know, 30 years ago, the Miami Dolphins weren't 17-0. They were 12-0. You had just beaten New England 37-21. I know you did that week at a time, Coach, but when did you say, holy smokes, man, we have won every game here. We're rolling.
You know, I thought when we got into about the 14th or 15th game, and then people started to talk about, you know, nobody else has ever done it. Then it became important to us, but it wasn't more important than the fact that we wanted to get to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. We didn't want to be in the Super Bowl like the previous year and not win.
Penalty markers down before the snap as Miami tried to get 3 wideouts and sneak everybody out to the outside. And the flag down.
Timeout, Virginia Tech.
And before the snap, Virginia Tech got the timeout. We'll take it 2 with 6:23 remaining in the first half. Don Shula's been kind enough to join us for most of the second quarter. Coach, have a great party Monday night.
Nice being with you, Brad.
Good to see you.
Robert, nice being with you. And
all right,
we're going to be there to root them on Monday night.
Yes, sir, we are.
The alumni.
The alumni.
Monday night football party here in Miami as the Dolphins play the Bears, the 30th anniversary of the perfect 72 season, and we thank Coach Shula again for being along. 2nd down and goal for the Hurricanes. McGahee on a counter, and he's in. Touchdown, Miami. McGahee continues to add to the touchdown totals. And it is 27-7. Three today already for McGahee. This time from 3 yards out. And again, it followed the fumble recovery by McDougal. Turnovers, as Bob said, you just can't do it against a team this good. And it's 28-7.
McGahee just doesn't go down with the first hit. He's 6'1" and 228 pounds. He is solid, and he's not going down when he sees pay dirt.
After 35 yards short field again in just 6 plays.
Boys, what I think we're not seeing from Virginia Tech that we've seen from them earlier this year against A&M is penetration. And you look at the huge hole right here. That defensive line is not penetrating. The offensive line of Miami is able to spread them out, get key blockers positioned, and thus a good running attack for Miami.
Frank Beamer knows it, and now he knows they're in a little bit of trouble. Down 3 touchdowns with 6:19 left in the half. They faced a big deficit in the second half last year. That one was in Blacksburg, though, and their special teams and their offense got in gear and made it a ball game, and now they know they're going to have to do the same thing today. Our aerial views courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, with Goodyear's blimp stars and stripes continuing a 77-year tradition as the aerial ambassador and icon of the 102-year-old company. Getting some great shots above the Orange Bowl. Johnson from the 6. Richard Johnson had a nice return last time. He's got a better one here. Look out. Severs is a man to beat, and he's got him. Johnson trying to take it all the way down the sideline inside the 20. Touchdown. No, he's out at the 1-foot line.
That's what Virginia Tech does. When you think they're down and out of it, the special team just jumps up and scores one.
Actually, they're going to spot it at the 4. I guess that's where they put their foot down. But he put his foot down 92 yards to get there. Boy, did they need that.
Take a look at the blocking up ahead. He's got the patience to let the blockers do their job and the speed when it's his turn to run away from them.
And then right as he got inside the 5, Glenn Sharp just got enough of them to knock him out of bounds. Longest kick return for Virginia Tech this year. 1st and goal. Option. Randall, nothing doing there.
And it's raining.
McIntosh made the stop again.
It is pouring.
Under 6 minutes in the half, but an opportunity for Virginia Tech to climb back into this thing. If they can get a touchdown, it's 2nd down and goal.
Look for Miami to have all 11 guys up to the line of scrimmage. They're not going to expect a pass here. Expect an option one way or the other.
Suggs, the tailback. Randall throwing a fade. Wilford trying to come down with it. It's broken up. Sean Taylor was with him.
Wilford is their go-to guy. He is 6'4" and 217 up against Taylor.
He got his hands on it.
He sees it the whole way. The ball was a little bit underthrown, but not a lot. It's a good throw by Randall.
And you can bet ever since last year when he dropped that 2-point conversion, although this isn't the same circumstances, he was looking for another opportunity just like this to have a positive impact for his team.
He wanted that.
Right. You got that right, Swanee. 3rd down and goal. The wind is picked up, so is the rain. Randall getting some heat. He got rid of it. Touchdown! Got it to Sean Witten.
That was a great improvisation by the quarterback. He wanted to throw it back across the field.
That's Witten's first touchdown ever. You talk about picking a good time.
And he's happy about it.
Sean Witten came in, 19 catches but no scores. And the redshirt freshman from Oakton, Virginia's got him in the end zone. Worley for the extra point. It's up, and it's good. 5:15 remaining in the half. Brian Randall, as Bob said, he improvised. He found number 26, and it's 28-14.
Go back and take a look at this. He's trying to hit the tight end on a little sneak across the field as he rolls out. Now watch what's going to develop. The tight end sneaks right here. This is where he's trying to go with it right here. But there's a receiver going across the back of the end zone that he doesn't see. And the one he ends up throwing it to is covered, but he gets it in there.
And my apologies to Sean Witten. He did catch a touchdown pass last year against Syracuse, but this one is his first this year, and it's a big one.
And that is a heck of a throw.
Sean's brother Jason plays for Tennessee. Remember a year ago when Tennessee was playing LSU in the SEC championship, a game away from going to the title game, and what happened? Georgia obviously is watching this game. The Dogs are 3rd in the BCS. They play Arkansas in the SEC title game tonight in Atlanta. From the 6-yard line, Jarrett Payton again. And Payton got out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary. Andre Johnson's already over 100 yards receiving. This crossing pattern set him up. This one down the sideline, though controversial that he stepped out of bounds, was a 49-yard touchdown. Then he went 31 yards deep to him again when they had to have one on a 3rd down. That led to another scoring rushing touchdown by Miami, and that's where we are. It's 28-14. McGahee scored 3 times, and Dorsey's thrown 1 to Johnson. First down, Miami from its own 26. Dorsey rolling and throwing and completes it to Parrish. Short gain of about 24. You see Kenny Dorsey, maybe prior to that snap, has a wrist brace on his left hand that happened a couple of games ago. They have not made a big deal out of it. It's his non-throwing hand, but it has given him a few problems.
Hey, he's 37-1. He's 6'5" and probably weighs 192. He's thin as a rail. He'd be a little heavier if he got some different numbers. A 0. The 1-1 make him look small.
That's true.
And he's never been hurt. He's never missed a start at the University of Miami.
He gives it on a little Statue of Liberty looking play to McGahee on the left side, and McGahee got out to about the 33-yard line. It's going to bring up a 3rd down.
I like Virginia Tech, Brad. Excuse me for interrupting. Down 28-7. They're getting this game could be a blowout here, and finally they just come back and say, hey, our strength, special teams, let's go down and get one, and they did. And set up the touchdown pass.
And now they're really looking for a 3rd down stop defensively. As you look in on the 32-yard line from way up above from the Goodyear blimp. 3rd down and 4.
Our takeaway would be good. Virginia Tech led the conference in interceptions with 20.
They were +8 on their turnover ratio today. That's been skewered. Here's a sideline streak. Roscoe Parrish cuts back inside. 1 man to beat. Here comes a whole herd of Hokies. A whole flock of them, I guess. They bring him down at the 10. He almost took it. 58 yards.
You got to hand that to Dorsey. It was a little pump and go. Earlier we talked about if Dorsey would have thrown it to the receiver, D'Angelo Hall would have taken it to the house. Watch this. Now, top of your screen, a little move to the outside. Dorsey had pumped, and D'Angelo Hall, number 4, had seen Dorsey's pump and jumped on what the quarterback was doing. That was all Ken Dorsey right there.
And the pass was perfect, as you saw in the replay. Never broke stride. 58 yards, a career-long reception for Parrish. Now back to the ground they go. McGahee looking for his 4th touchdown. Another scoring drive. All you had to do was blink your eyes twice and Miami's in the end zone again. McGahee's 4th on the ground. That one took 1 minute and 59 seconds, Grease. That's a long drive.
And this defense is pretty good. I want to tell you, they're ranked 8th in the nation in scoring defense.
Seaver's extra point is good. Just under 2 minutes after the Virginia Tech touchdown, Miami's back in the end zone and they lead 35-14.
You got a flag.
Holding on the offense. Ball be replayed from the 13-yard line.
So the extra point's going to be a long one now for Seavers on a holding. A coach trying to ignite his troops. He'd like a blocked extra point, anything, to try to give new life back. Every time they look like they're still breathing, Miami steps on their chest. The extra point is still good. 3:16 remaining in the half. The defending national champions leading Virginia Tech 35-14. Boy, when they come to play, they're pretty good.
Take a look at this now. Here's Parrish. He doesn't do anything. No quick outs or nothing. Watch Dorsey. Watch as he's going to pump the ball. Go ahead and run it. Watch, he's going to pump the ball, and that is what pulls the back up. Parrish didn't do a thing, but Dorsey was intelligent enough to know that, hey, earlier he had jumped on one of my quick sets, 3 steps, and I'm throwing my arm out there. Says, I'll take care of him. You just take off.
And then McGahee caps the touchdown with a 10-yard gallop, his 4th of the day.
Now, Bob and Brad, as we watch McGahee go in the end zone again, let me point out one thing about that receiver not doing anything, Bob. The receiver did run the right route.
Okay.
And when the corner came up,
I got Shulin, I got Swan.
Well, the receiver did, when the corner came up, the receiver did take the outside release. Now, if the receiver doesn't take the outside release, the safety has a play on the ball.
I know, that's good, Swan. That's good.
Seaver's kick. Johnson took the last one 92 yards. This one he's going to have to take a knee. And Virginia Tech will work again from the 20-yard line. Our Aflac trivia question this week, November 9th at Syracuse, Brian Randall threw for 504 yards, a Big East record. Who holds the Hokies all-time record for passing yards in a game?
I got that one.
You got that one?
I got it.
All right, we'll tell everybody else coming up.
Now, Swanee, about that route we were talking about. What I was pointing out is Roscoe Parrish, you know, a lot of times you have to do a little slanting up or a little stop and go or a little out and up. This time he didn't have to do anything. He just, like you say, released to the outside, and Dorsey is the one that affected the cornerback to force him to come up.
I'd buy the quarterback dinner on that one.
At the 20 now, 4 wideouts. Here comes a blitz. Randall Flips it out to Wilford, and he's got about 9 yards. I got to tell you, between Jimmy Johnson and Larry Coker and Don Shula and Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, I'm the only guy that doesn't have any jewelry, for crying out loud. I mean, we got more championships walking around this stadium, not to mention about 50 ex-Hurricane players who are probably all wearing championship rings down there as well. They got a lot of guys back.
I'll get you a gold chain and a medallion for Christmas.
Thank you. I appreciate that. On second and short, Randall stands in, now takes off. And he got the first down. As we check in New York with John Saunders. John.
Brad, the Coors Light update. What a day for Craig Candido of Navy. He's rushed for 5 touchdowns and now throws for 1 to Tony Lane, 23 yards. This is an absolute blowout. 44-6, the Middies over Army. Brad.
We're trying not to think that way here. 35-14. And Randall throwing. Johnson was open. He threw it behind him.
He needed to throw it more to the sideline, and Johnson would have had it easily.
We just heard from John Saunders, and coming up on the Capital One halftime show, John and Terry will be along. They'll have highlights and analysis, plus they'll look ahead to 2 big games with BCS implications. Washington State, UCLA, and the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship.
Especially the UCLA Washington State. That's holding up everything. And this one.
Second down and 10. Randall scrambles out of trouble again. Now he's got the corner and the first down and goes out of bounds at about the 43-yard line with a little over 2 minutes left. 13-yard pickup.
Plenty of time. Like you say, over 2 minutes. Every time you make a first down, the clock stops, so that helps. From behind the defense, he drops back to pass. Green and the defensive tackle do a little twist, and there's a hole open up front, so he takes off. Going to be a battle for the quarterback position next year. This kid right here, Brian Randall, is going to be a lot better throwing the ball in the spring. Marcus Vick is going to be available to challenge him for the position next year.
He's got 57 yards rushing, does Randall so far. Blitz. Suggs was open out in the flat, but he just didn't have time to get it to him. There's Marcus. And yes, there's a resemblance to Big Brother, who's now about the hottest thing in the National Football League.
You know, Big Brother, if everything would have gone differently, would have been right here on this field today, playing in this game. Marcus Vick, Michael Vick would have been a 5th-year senior.
You mentioned that to both coaches. They both rolled their eyes.
Marcus Vick is a true freshman, being redshirted this year.
At the 44, second down and 10. Hokies trying to come up with some more points here before halftime. They're going to need all they can get, and he zips one into Wilford. Nice catch and a good throw, 9-yard pickup.
Good movement, buying some time, sliding outside the pocket. I thought it interesting. We talked to some of the players yesterday, and we also talked to Frank Beamer on the field. He says, I brought, of the 68 players, 42 of them will be back here in 2 years when we play Miami. He brought a lot of his young players just to experience this, to get him ready for a couple of years from now.
Second down, a long yard, back in Miami territory. Randall will take off again because he needs the first down and knows it, and heads to the sideline, trying not to take a shot, and he doesn't. And he got it to about the 41. So Randall, who, as Bob mentioned, had the big passing game against Syracuse, but he's had some good games where he's been over 100 yards rushing, and he's heading in that direction right now.
Well, he's been very efficient. He's been very efficient. He's that's Mark Stoops we're looking at right there. Looks, you can tell he
wasn't happy with
looks like the Stoops brothers.
Yep.
But he's a very efficient quarterback. In fact, leads the Big East in pass efficiency.
Shovel pass, that's incomplete, not a loose ball.
Now that's one you have to complete. It's a shovel. Nobody knocked it. You've got to complete this one.
A minute 14 remaining. Capital One halftime show with John and Terry coming up, and we'll also hear from Jim McKay as he looks back on the life of Roone Arledge, who impacted sports television and news television maybe more than anybody else, and who passed away this week. And our condolences to Rune's family and friends. That's all coming up at halftime. Here's a blitz on Randall. Going deep out. And his receiver, Parham, broke his route off. And it's incomplete. 3rd down and 10.
He was open. Randall just didn't have time to wait. He had some problems in the backfield. He had to get rid of it.
You know, obviously the game plan has changed for Virginia Tech because they're behind. But between Suggs and Jones, they're untouchables. The dynamic duo backfield. They've got 25 yards rushing, and Brian Randall has got 63.
Yeah.
3rd and 10. From the shotgun. Wilfork getting some pressure. Now Randall squirts through the middle. Here he goes again. Brian Randall got a block. Witten trying to get another one for him, and he's out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. Boy, that was nifty.
Then they had a spy on him, and the spy missed him.
18 more yards for Randall.
Number 99, Andrew Williams, kind of a big spy right there. He was a defensive end who backed off and was doing nothing but just shadowing the quicker Randall.
He leads the game in rushing, does Randall.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a good look from the blimp. 18 more yards. Down at the 23. Here's a shovel pass again. Bob said you got to complete that one, but you got to have somewhere to run. Jerome McDougal and Jonathan Vilma didn't give him any.
Yeah, that's, you know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on. Because this first time it was there. Now that time it wasn't there.
And that brings up a timeout in a long yardage situation with 49 seconds remaining in the half. And Virginia Tech looking for points before halftime. Coming up after this one, Keith Jackson and Dan Fouts. Big Pac-10 showdown for you. Washington State needs a win for a berth in the Rose Bowl, but UCLA is upset-minded. Of course, they'd love to be the spoiler. That's next right here on ABC Sports, the class of college football. You want to talk about the waiting game and how big it is? Well, a lot of people are waiting. The Rose, the Sugar, and the Orange, awaiting the results of the Cougars and the Bruins. And it's got the trickle-down effect, as you can obviously see, all the way down through the Motor City Bowl.
Yep. And as a graduate of the University of Southern California, I am here to say, go Bruins.
All right. We knew that was coming in. I know you don't say that very often, Schwanning.
I don't even think that very often.
Yeah. Virginia Tech took over at its own 20-yard line with 3:16 left. And now with 49 seconds left, they're in the 12th play of their drive. Boy, if they could get a touchdown somehow here.
Yes.
That would be huge.
Yes.
Any kind of score would help, but if they could make it 35-21, then they're in the hunt. And, of course, Miami's defense is well aware of that. Look at all the Canes up close. Randall throwing for Wilford, and he's got this one. There's the big catch he was looking for that Lynn talked about earlier. It's 1st and goal, Virginia Tech.
And it's to his go-to guy, Wilford, the leading receiver and the leading touchdown maker. Comes in with a nice one. Now they're inside the 10. Do some business.
We alluded, and Lynn did, to what could have been for Wilford last year. And as you saw at the beginning of the game, he's the one that couldn't handle a two-point conversion pass last year that could have sent this game a year ago to overtime. 1st and goal for the Hokies. Randall, quarterback draw. No, going down for a loss. Antrell Roll had that one all defended. Frank Beamer is not happy.
Because he had it inside if he could have gotten away from Antrell Roll. Little corner blitz.
Another timeout, Virginia Tech's final one.
To come from the right side.
Nice, sure tackle. Wrapped him up. Sophomore out of Homestead, Florida, with a big defensive stop.
That's what we said, one of the keys for Miami defensively is you have to tackle.
Ernest Wilford, the junior out of Richmond, Virginia, and one that has haunted him for a year, and you can't blame a ball game on him by any stretch. They battled back, they got a touchdown, and as you can see, he just couldn't hold a two-point conversion. That could have conceivably sent that game to overtime, but it was not to be, and he's been haunted by that play for a year and has openly said in a picture-perfect world he'd catch a big one in this one and maybe erase it and pull an upset over the Hurricanes. Well, his last catch got him down to a 1st and goal situation. But then Randall was dumped back at the 7. They're trying to keep the football dry right now. The rain has picked up again.
He is big, 6'4". It is raining.
He comes out to the near side, the bottom of your screen, with 3 wideouts the other way for Randall. 2nd and goal at the 7. Randall rolling right, throwing that way, but it's over everybody's head. Jonathan Vilma is the guy that put pressure and hit Randall, and he's still not up. He's checking to see if everything's still in his mouth other than his mouthpiece.
You think if you'd rolled out, you'd have more time. That's why they do this. With Vilma, the middle linebacker, he's got such speed.
And Grant Knoll is thinking about grabbing a helmet.
I don't know. This hit in the NFL may have been called helmet to helmet.
You could see Vilma just coming in like a missile. We saw him with a couple of these kind of hits in the Rose Bowl last year. Watch this one. Boom. Oh.
Yeah, I think they get more protection in college in the pro football than they do in college these days.
I agree with you, partner. And so, lo and behold, as they check apparently a bleeding lip or a loose tooth. We did the last one in slow motion. We'll give you an idea of the impact here. Knocked him halfway out of Dade County. Here's the guy that played the game last year and was intercepted 4 times as the starter. Hasn't played much because Randall's been the man.
Not easy coming in this situation.
3rd and goal at the 7. The senior Grant Knoll in the lineup. Going to throw a fade to the corner. Wilford goes up and gets it. Touchdown.
Took it away from him. That's what he wanted. Wanted to make up for last year's ball game, and it's in the same kind of corner over there.
And it's to the same quarterback.
Yeah.
From the same quarterback to Wilford, and Frank Beamer comes all the way over to congratulate him.
And the same situation, the corner, it's up there, and he just went up and took it away.
And boys, I got to tell you, I'll jump in here after this extra point to tell you what the conversation was as they came back to the sideline.
Extra point is up and good. 24 seconds. Swanee.
He came over to the sideline, and Wilford was saying, everybody, I told you I wanted the ball. I told you I wanted the ball. Most important, all the things he went through all of last year, even to the point where Spike Lee had been on campus and pointed out to him was he is a guy who lost the game for Virginia Tech, and he had to endure all of that. He says, I want the ball. Give Frank Beamer the credit. In a critical situation as a head coach, he didn't shy away from giving Ernest a football. He was one of the first people on the sideline that came over to Ernest, shook his hand, and just pointed to him, knowing that you're the man, you've got the opportunity, and you'll come through for it. This is so important, not just for the football game, but for the character and the personality of the individual in this ball game.
Randall's reaction, he comes up for air long enough to say, all right. And how about Grant Knoll, who comes in as cold as a South Beach drink on the street, throws one pass, and it's a touchdown.
How about that quarterback, huh?
How about that quarterback? I mean, that wasn't too easy. You said this is a tough spot. Remember, this kid hurt his knee just days before the spring game. Had arthroscopic surgery in his left knee in September. He was the starter last year. Brian Randall came in. He never got another chance. For him, it's been as tough a year probably as it has been for Ernest Wilford. And he comes in, throws one ball. It's a touchdown, and Virginia Tech is still in the ball game.
Well said.
24 seconds remaining in the half. Got a wild one going on in the Orange Bowl. Line drive that hit one of the up men. And it's a tight end. Winston, and Winston got out to about the 30-yard line. Our Aflac trivia question: in November against Syracuse, Brian Randall, 5:04 was a Big East record. Who holds the Hokies' all-time record for passing yards in a game? Swanee?
Well, you know, this is a wild guess. I'm going to say it's Randall.
All right, Bob, I guess you get to be next. I know this answer, by
Don
the way.
Strock.
Don Strock in 72, the same year as you were a pro against Houston. 527 yards.
He's the head coach right now of FIU right here in Miami.
So everything is 30th year anniversary related here today as Kenny Dorsey takes a knee Final play of the half. It's been an exciting one. Miami, every time Virginia Tech made a push, came right back. Virginia Tech's probably got to be happy that it's halftime because they just scored a huge touchdown. They don't have to worry about Miami coming back and stuffing another one down them. Let's check in with Swanee and Frank Beamer.
Well, Coach, a tough first half, but you guys coming back, putting points on the scoreboard. Adjustments and changes for the second half.
Well, we're hanging in there. We got to tackle better. I'm going to tell you now, this Miami team's good enough. We don't need to help them by missing tackles and playing poorly there. But you know, we've done a couple of good things. We just got to go to get things right in the second half, and like to get to the fourth quarter close.
Can you force Miami's offense to kind of focus on one aspect in the ball game? Take away the run or the pass?
Yeah, it's hard. McGay, he's really running well. They're blocking well for him, and that's where we're not being very good, is taking the run away and get it to a one-dimensional game.
Coach, thank you. We'll see you in the second half. Brad?
Maybe the worst news for Frank Beamer is that Miami will have the ball first in the third quarter. It is their house. They've won 21 straight here. They lead 35-21 as we head to the halftime report. Here's John and Terry. Fellas. Boston College game. Remember that one. Eagles threatening. Walters with the interception. Reed took it the distance. Virginia Tech, the game we did in Blacksburg. Just that close to a two-point conversion that could have sent it to overtime. This season, we saw this one as well. Florida State, Xavier Bethia. Chance to win in a race. 3 wide rights. It went wide left. And then just 16 days ago, right here, Rutherford had a man open just over the fingertips of the intended receiver, and Miami had escaped another possible tie. So they won a championship a year ago in Larry Coker's rookie season. In 2001, can they add one in 2002? Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy. Partner, they're 2 quarters away from the big trip again.
Yeah, and they're rolling. You know, they've scored 5 touchdowns in their 6 possessions in the first half. But they haven't stopped Virginia Tech. They've scored 3 of the last 4. But this is one half away from a championship game, and I'm sure that's what Larry Coker reminded him.
Virginia Tech has to kick off. That's the bad news for them, and you can bet that the opening possession of the third quarter for Miami could very well determine the outcome of the ball game. So many times that first 5 minutes of the third quarter is so big. Jarrett Payton and Andre Johnson will go back and await the Hokies kick. Waller-Up's got it. Teed up. And the second half underway. Andre Johnson, so dangerous as a receiver in the first half. Now here is a return man. Broke a couple of tackles and got out to about the 24-yard line. Let's check in with Lynn.
Well, Brad and Bob, as you can expect, Larry Coker's offense, he feels, is running the ball and passing the ball extremely well. He just wants them to come out with the same kind of attitude. On the other side, defensively, they've got to tweak it just a bit, because what they want to do is try and stop Randall in the running game. Larry says we got to tackle better, but we certainly have to stop him. He had over 70 yards in the first half. Brad?
23-0. Best start by a first-year coach in over a century. 33 straight wins hanging on this team. Dorsey, deep ball to Johnson's open. Trying to break free of D'Angelo Hall. And it's first and goal Miami, just like that. 67 yards on the opening play of the third quarter.
The conversation at halftime had to be by Andre Johnson. Hey, I can beat this guy. Just throw me the ball. Take a look here. Dorsey looks to his left. Now up to the right side here, you see Johnson beating D'Angelo Hall. If he would have thrown it out a little bit further, he could have kept going for the touchdown.
First and goal at the 8-yard line in one play.
Andre Johnson says, just throw it to me, I can beat him. And on the other side, Wilfork is the same way. Just throw it to me, I can beat him.
McGahee's got 4 touchdown runs today. McGahee almost had another one. Brought down at the 2 by Michael Crawford.
All the talk about the Hurricanes, about McGahee, and about Dorsey. You kind of forget about Andre Johnson.
Yep.
He's 6'3", 225 pounds. He's an outstanding receiver. He's got 19 career touchdowns, 20 now. He caught one in this ball game.
Remember, he was the co-MVP of the Rose Bowl last year with almost 200 yards and 2 scores. McGahee looking for number 5. Not on that carry. Michael Crawford made first contact. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
The field goal kickers have had the day off.
They have.
So far, there have been 8 touchdowns.
3rd down and exactly a yard to go. Opening drive, 3rd quarter. If you just went out to grab a sandwich and came back, 68-yard pass from Kenny Dorsey to Andre Johnson has set Miami up for another chance at another touchdown. 3rd and goal. McGahee, right side, another touchdown. Number 5 for Willis McGahee on the day. Number 26 rushing on the season.
You don't think they have confidence in that running game? They get down in there, 3 times in a row, they just pound it in there.
Remember what we said about the opening drive of the 3rd quarter? Would it set the tone for the rest of the game? That might have it. That might have been it.
You sound like a coach, because that's exactly what both coaches told him.
42-21. Johnson got the big chunk. McGahee got the rest.
Haji Razuli, 74, coming into your picture. Fullback's going to get a block, and then a couple guys get their hands on him before he crosses, but it won't be denied. Baki is 45. Pyle 35 gets blocked. Touchdown.
The hurricane warnings were out before the game, as they always are here, with the red flags, part of the band's tradition. The wind's still blowing, and the Hurricanes are still cruising. 3-touchdown lead again.
This Hurricane offense came into the game ranked 6th in the nation in total offense and 4th in the nation in scoring, averaging 41 points a game.
The Tostitos chip hats are out in full force, thinking about how those things would wear in Arizona.
Were they selling those things or just handing them out?
I don't know.
We drove by
there's a lot of them out there.
Some of these vendors, and they were just looked like they were just handing them out.
Richard Johnson took a 92-yard kick return earlier in this game. This one from the 3 and only to the 22. Leon Williams made the stop. Brian Randall was the Virginia Tech offense in the first half. Talk about Suggs and Jones as 2 great tailbacks. He's the guy that did the work. Some tough running, got down close, then found Witten over the corner. Nice adjustment. Took a big shot from Vilma that took him out of the game for a play, but Grant Knoll threw a touchdown pass on the ensuing play. And it was 35-21 at that point. Now it's 42-21, just a couple minutes into the 3rd quarter. Randall's back in there, though. And it's the fullback, Eastling, out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary statistically in the first half. We didn't have time to show you this. Miami scored too quick.
Well, Vatek is running more plays. They wanted to do that. They wanted to make more first downs, take time off the clock. The problem is the 2 turnovers led to 2 Miami touchdowns.
Both those turnovers in their own territory. As Bob said, turned to 14 points in a hurry. 2nd down and 6. Suns trying to peek through the showers. Randall on the option keeper into the secondary, and loose ball again, and Miami's got it again. Jerome McDougal got all the way back there after the hit by Sean Taylor. Speak of a turnover, and another one happens.
They have stopped the running backs. They can't stop Randall, but he can't stop fumbling. If he breaks 1 tackle, he's gone. Sean Taylor just knocks it loose.
Again, a fumble in their own territory for the Hokies.
You can't help this Miami offense. You can't give them this great a field position.
Does Miami try to go for it in one play? Nope. Draw play. McGahee Broke a tackle and got almost 10. He might have. So Willis McGahee with 5 touchdowns on the ground today.
This is the 3rd time that Miami has had a 21-point lead. And each time, the Hokies have come back.
McGahee ties a school record with his 5th rushing touchdown, by the way, that's been around since 1933. Quadrant Hill gets it down to about the 30-yard line. Larry Coker knows that in Willis McGahee, he has got himself a competitor.
One thing about Willis, he is so unselfish. Willis was actually our starting fullback in the Rose Bowl game last year. Clinton Portis being our tailback. Our fullback was injured, played 70 plays as our fullback to help us win a national championship. And then coming back, having a great offseason, being a great leader for us, and practicing so well. You watch him practice. The practice is just like a game for Willis. You see him run. That's the way he runs in practice. That's the way he runs in games.
Andre Johnson down the middle, couldn't quite hold that Kenny Dorsey pass. Willie Pyle was there to break it up. And Larry was telling us also about McGahee. He said not only did he play the fullback role and play it unselfishly, he said even if he stays in the game and the play isn't called to him, he wants to stand and block for somebody else.
And he says if you put in a back and you bring him out and you run a running play that his replacement has to block, he'll say, did you take me out because you wanted the other guy to block on that play?
Exactly right.
He says, I can block.
He just wants to play every down.
Yeah.
2nd down and 10. And here he comes. And there he goes. McGahee. He's gone. 6 touchdowns. Yards. And even half-dozen touchdown runs for McGahee. Trying to make a Heisman case. Trying to get his team to the Fiesta Bowl. Severs' extra point is good. 49-21. What a show. Our aerial shots courtesy of Goodyear. We'd like to remind you to take all of life journeys on the wings of Goodyear. Captain Tracy Rockhold with us, Captain. Great shots. Nice to have you with us. The sad shot for Virginia Tech is the scoreboard. It's 49-21. And we still have a long way to go. Severs kick. Johnson will take it at the 5. Trying to cut outside again, and they've got him bottled up before he can even get to the 20 this time. Howard Clark made the tackle on the special teams.
Go back to the touchdown. Watch the block of Vernon Carey and Haji Razuli. Those two guys, the linemen. Carey's going to slide down to the inside. Now you got 2 blocks there. Now this is where he's going to go, right up through here. Razuli, 74, stays on his man, and Andre Johnson outside being covered by D'Angelo Hall. He just can't make it. He just can't react to it.
And that touchdown by McGahee broke a record that has stood for almost 70 years. Single season, single game rushing touchdowns of 6. Whistle stop play. And it's a legal procedure against the Hokies.
Well, the Hurricanes are just dominant on offense. And Ken Dorsey is just doing what he has to do and is happy to allow McGahee to score the touchdowns. They've scored. If you take out this one right here where they just knelt down right before halftime, you take that out, they've scored on 7 of their 8 possessions.
Wow. 1st and 15. Virginia Tech backed up to its own 12. Randall. Pressure coming. Going deep for Witten, and he overshot him. And if Randall would have had that one back, he would have taken off up the middle for about 30 yards. There was nobody in front of him. But he was determined to throw it and did have a man open, but he overshot him.
Well, you start looking now. I mean, they've come back. They've come back a couple of times from 21 points down. They've come back and showed some life. And now Miami just jumps out and says, hey, we're going to jump out. We're 28 points ahead of you. We're going to put our foot on your throat and just keep it there.
2 touchdowns to open the third quarter. 1 on an opening offensive march. 1 following yet another Virginia Tech turnover. Randall flares it out. Jones, nice cutback to the inside. And all he did was get back close to the original line of scrimmage before Jamal Green ran him down. There's the conductor of the Miami ground machine.
I know you may have heard it before, but coming in, starting last year, he was behind Clinton Portis and Al Gore.
Frank Gore. Al Gore's still behind.
Yeah,
Florida.
I've never seen Al Gore run the football.
He was counting chads.
He was a third-team running back, and Portis went to the pros, and Gore got hurt.
3rd and 11. Randall in trouble and hammered under a wave of orange. Green, then roll, then friends. Virginia Tech's got a punt.
I don't know. Miami's making a pretty good statement here today.
Yes, they are.
You get them close to that championship game, as we said in the opening, and one more game, and you go, and you don't have to go to Blacksburg like they did last year. Right. All you have to do is come out here on your Orange Bowl turf, and you just win here, and you go. They're pretty impressive.
Vinnie Burns stands at his own goal line, and it's blocked.
Got it.
They got it, and they've got it. I think Sean Taylor may have blocked it.
In your face, Virginia Tech.
That's exactly what's being said. You can talk all you want about the other team's special teams, but Miami's got some that are pretty special too. Weaver came up with it. We'll take another look at the middle.
Yeah, right up the middle.
That might have been Leon Williams, 44. Leon's right in the middle of your screen. Oh, I think maybe he might have been the guy. There's 2 guys there. It's hard to tell.
Well, they were going after it.
I think it might have been Quantrill Hill. I don't know.
Yeah.
From down here, guys, it looked like both hands hit the ball.
It sure did from here, too, Swanee. The ball, by the way, went 1 yard. Dorsey looking for a corner route to Johnson. Comes back to his safety valve. Kellen Winslow. Winslow. Spin move to the 1.
They haven't needed Kellen today because everything else has been so open, so they haven't bothered throwing it to the tight end. And they were looking for Johnson on that play. He says, throw it to me. I can catch. And he can. And he can run.
Remember, McGahee's already got 6 touchdowns. I think they're going to give Jared Payton a crack at it. McGahee trots to the sideline. 1st and goal. At the 1 yard line. Payton is the tailback in the eye. Wearing a very familiar number 34. He wants to throw back to Dorsey. And it's intercepted, and this is going to be a touchdown the other way.
That's gone.
Willie Pyle.
That's
it's going to take it 99 yards for a Virginia Tech touchdown.
And it should go the other way. That was an awful call.
Penalty markers all over the field. 99-yard interception return by Pyle.
You're leading 49-21. You don't need that one.
The penalty markers were thrown at about the 45-yard line. And Frank Beamer is way out by the hash mark, letting somebody have it. Apparently, it was after the touchdown.
Over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on Miami. Penalty will be enforced on the Tribe.
So it was against Miami, not Virginia Tech.
Well, I just think that's just an unnecessary call. I mean, you try to trick him. I know the players like it. In fact, we saw him working on that play at practice a couple of days ago, where you hand it off and you throw it back to the quarterback. We saw that in practice, and the players like those gimmick plays. But when you're leading 49-21, it's more likely to have something bad happen when you put the ball in a running back's hand and throw it across field than it's something good happen. If you want to score, just run the ball in.
Plus, you look at this pass, Bob, it just seemed to come out of his hands very poorly.
It did.
I don't know if the ball was wet, or I don't know if his gloves were wet, but it just wasn't a good pass.
That penalty was against Virginia Tech, and the extra point is blocked. The referee, and you saw it, he said that the personal foul was on Miami. It was not. It was on Virginia Tech. That's why Frank Beamer was upset. That's why the long extra point. That's why the blocked extra point. 8:45 remaining, third quarter, but Virginia Tech is on the board again on a long interception return. Virginia Tech in Miami, presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT. Third quarter, it's 49-27. Miami in front. Virginia Tech just got a touchdown on an interception return, but the extra point was blocked after the personal foul against the Hokies made it a long extra point. 8:45 remaining in the third quarter. And the kick will go to Jarrett Payton at the goal line. And Payton, who just threw that pass, the would-be pass back to Dorsey, gets it out to the 25-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by the people of all states. You're in good hands with Allstate. Chrysler, drive equals love. And the United States Marines, the change is forever. With Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan, Brad Nessler with you from the Orange Bowl in Miami. Packed house on a rainy day. But the Hurricanes are thinking about the Buckeyes. At least their fans are, but we still got a quarter and a half to go. And Dorsey on the give to McGahee. And McGahee finds another opening, and he gets out for about 8 more yards on another record-breaking day. Them out west, and along with us is the head coach of the Ohio State Buckeyes, Jim Tressel. And Jim, first of all, congratulations on a fabulous year.
Well, thanks, Brad. It's been a great football season for our young people. Our coaches and players have worked hard, and there's no doubt about it that you're seeing a great football game out there today where you are.
And I know that you and your team are paying close attention to this one, and then barring some sort of miracle, it looks like this is the group you're going to be up against.
Well, there's no question Miami's a great football team, but you can see there's no quit in Virginia Tech. They've been a great football team for quite some time. I've coached against Coach Beamer back in the old Ohio Valley Conference days, and but there's no doubt the Hurricanes are outstanding.
Hurricanes with a first down here from just outside their own 43-yard line, and Kenny Dorsey with a pump fake and wants to go deep down the sideline again, and it's incomplete. Broken up over there by Garnell Wilds, who's had a good job in the secondary for Virginia Tech this year. You know, Coach, we're seeing a great performance by Willis McGahee today. Your tailback, a sensational freshman that we got a chance to open up the season with in his coming out party. The game we did was something special. A lot of problems, though, with the Stingers there. We want to ask you about Maurice Clarett and his injury status, I guess, right now.
Well, the only thing that is good for us Stingers to have a little bit of rest, and fortunately our schedule, we went 12 straight weeks after the Pigskin Classic, and now we have a little bit of rest to prepare, and we'll see if he can get healthier.
Yeah, Jim, sometimes that rest could work in the other direction. Obviously, you're going to have 2 more weeks off than Miami is. What do you do to prepare for that and get the guys back in game shape?
Well, we're working hard right now conditioning. We head into final exams this coming week, and then we'll get right at our game planning.
In watching Willis McGahee here today and Kenny Dorsey here today, Jim, obviously Maurice was early in the season kind of in the Heisman talk and all of that. How impressed have you been by Dorsey and McGahee?
Well, they're great football players. There's no question about it. Dorsey has won just about every football game he's played, and there's a good-looking throw there, and he's a heck of a football player. And McGahee is extraordinary. He's been battled through some adversity, and he's all that they say he is.
You know, Craig Krenzel probably doesn't get enough credit for what he did for you this year. You got to have a smart quarterback. He's been everything you asked of him.
Well, Craig Krenzel's an outstanding player. He studies the game. He's a great leader, and just watching him here in our practices this week, he just keeps getting better.
Capshaw to punt. Finally, Virginia Tech forces a punt. D'Angelo Hall will take it at the 11. Looking for a block. Got one big one, and now he's got the sideline. D'Angelo Hall got a block. Capshaw's out of the play. Jarrett Payton to beat, and Hall is tripped up. Jarrett Payton saved a touchdown.
Tell you what, these special teams and these kick returns are outstanding. Valtech has been known for these for a long time.
It might have been Maurice Sykes, not Payton, on that tackle, but he saved a touchdown, that's for sure.
The wall is set up to our left. He's looking for friendly white shirts. There's a block there, another block there.
He's taken 2 already to the house this year and almost took this one. And that was Sykes, 36, that just tripped him up, a 71-yard punt return.
I'll tell you, there's no quit in Virginia Tech.
And Jim just said that a minute ago, and right now they're thinking touchdown here in the red zone. So 1st and 10 for Virginia Tech. Coach, special teams are so special. Frank does a great job of it, and I know you guys stress it as well.
We really do. Frank Beamer's been one of the leaders in our profession to show people how important the special teams are, and I think he's trained a lot of us up in that area, and I know our staff works extremely hard on the special teams, and they can make a great difference.
Jim, how well do you know Larry Coker?
Know Larry very well. He, of course, had coached here at Ohio State, and he's just an outstanding guy. Had a chance to see him some in the offseason last year and just admire what he's done. He's got a classy team, and he's got a physical team with great balance.
Here's a first down at the 18-yard line. Virginia Tech trying to capitalize on the punt return. Randall out in the flat, looking for the handle was Humes, and he almost caught that one up.
Just not real sharp between the quarterback and the receiver.
So important to have speed.
Here's Sykes, 36 at the bottom of the screen. Now he's laying back. He's not thinking he's going to be needed, and then he thinks, well, maybe I will be needed, and he catches him.
Just barely. He was down for a long time over there. That's why there was the holdup before the snap from the 18. Now 2nd down and 10. And Randall all wrapped up again.
Coach, you know, you never win a championship without a good defense, and you've got that.
Well, we really do. Our kids have been playing well on defense, and our staff has done a great job. Mark D'Antonio, our defensive coordinator, has led a great staff there. And I think our kids play hard. They run to the ball. I think they're a real smart defense. And in a balanced team like Miami, a team like the folks that you can meet in championship games, you better be focused and you better be ready to handle balanced attacks.
3rd down and long. Fans come to life for the Hurricane defense. 4 wide receivers for Randall. Down the middle, Witten's got it. Nice cutback, 1st down. It's going to be 1st and goal at the 4. And Sean Taylor saves a touchdown. Witten, who had a touchdown catch in the first half.
So, Jim, you're kind of used to these championship games, though, at a different level.
Well, that's right. I've had the good fortune to coach in a number of national championship games, and it's going to come down to, like you talked about, which defenses play the best, who takes care of the football, and those all-important special teams that you were just outlining.
Kevin Jones in at tailback. It is 1st and goal at the 4. On the option, Randall, late pitch to Jones, got a block. Not quite. Dragged down. The speed of Miami Again, the story, bringing up a 2nd down and goal. Jim, again, we want to congratulate you on an undefeated season. I'm sure you're looking at Larry Coker going, man, this guy's never lost as a head coach. That's pretty good.
That? Larry's done an unbelievable job there. And Butch Davis came in and I thought just did an extraordinary job. And Larry picked it right up. And they have not missed a beat.
Coach, as nice as Columbus is, I think you'll find Arizona to your liking in early January. Good luck.
Well, thanks so much. Good to be with you.
Good luck. Jim Tressel, head coach of undefeated Ohio State. They'll play Miami in all likelihood unless Virginia Tech can muster some kind of amazing comeback. And the Hurricanes, the ball's loose again. I think it's been blown dead. Our thanks to Jim joining us here in the 3rd quarter on a sensational season for the Buckeyes and their fans. They're waiting on the Miami Hurricanes if they can win this one. Our matchup presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT. Virginia Tech trailing Miami, but trying to pull something together here in the 3rd quarter. The beginning of the 3rd quarter was disastrous as they saw Miami score on offense, then get another turnover and go in again. 3rd down and goal. They need this one to stay in the hunt. Virginia Tech, that is.
Single coverage down here at the bottom
to Wilford.
Go alley-oop.
And incomplete. Sean Taylor again was there with him.
Give him another chance.
Going to bring out the field goal unit.
Single coverage. Wilford, number 19, just gets with. This time Taylor knows what's coming. He gets vision and gets up when the ball's coming. Now, just because they're lining up for a field goal, you could see anything right here. They've got all the tricks. They were using them out here yesterday with this field goal team.
They've got a shovel pass in here. This is going to be a kick, and it is going to be good. So they add 3 to cut it to 19. Could have been 4 more points had it not been for Maurice Sykes saving a touchdown right there. Virginia Tech closes to within 19 with a field goal. On senior day at the Orange Bowl, 20 numbers up there. 17 scholarship players and 3 walk-ons playing on their final home game, and they lead 49-30.
Partner, we got 79 points going, and we got another quarter.
I know. It's something. Peyton from the 6. Garrett waits for his blockers and got across the 30. Out to about the 33, almost the 34-yard line. Chrysler passing playbook, Bob.
Yeah, how often do we talk about the quarterback and his eye vision, where he look things off? Now take a look at this. The receiver is going to run a straight downfield, but the defensive back right there, number 4, came up, thought he was going to run something short and tried to jam him short at the line of scrimmage. Why did he come up? Well, look at the quarterback. His vision is to his left the whole way, and now he pumps over that way. The defensive back saw him. Of course, Dorsey, the quarterback, knew this and intentionally looked that way and pumped that way. The impact that a quarterback can have with his eyes and his arms to deceive the defensive secondary.
And this guy helps the play action game, that's for sure. McGahee's got 11 more yards. He's got his 10th 100-yard plus game of the season. That is also a Miami record. He's rushed for 6 touchdowns today. That's a single game Miami record.
But it's only because of the general behind center.
That's right.
He knows what's going on. He gets them out of bad plays. He checks into good plays.
Here's McGahee cutting outside. He's got more than 10 more again. So starting to pile on the yards to go with the touchdowns. Reminder, Keith and Fauci are set for a big showdown in the Pac-10. Washington State needs a win for a berth in the Rose Bowl, and UCLA is thinking upset. That's next right here on ABC Sports, the class of college football. And as Swanee said, there's a whole bunch of Trojans cheering for a bunch of Bruins for the first time in a long time.
Yeah.
157 yards on the ground for McGahee. Dorsey, if you're checking his stats, 275 through the air and a touchdown. McGahee again, and only about a yard more, and that's it. McGahee is a redshirt sophomore, so there has been questions, would he come back next year? if indeed they won a national championship, and if he was invited to the Heisman ceremony, would there be a reason for him to come back? Remember, as Bob said, Frank Gore is waiting and healthy. A guy that probably would have been the starter, but this guy has taken it and run with the chance like probably no player we've seen in a long time, if ever.
He's avoided injuries too. Like Brad said, this is his 3rd year at Miami. He would have 2 more years to play if he wanted.
And now Jared Payton takes it for about 3 yards as we check in. John Saunders in New York. John.
Brad, in the Mid-American Conference Championship, guess what? Marshall's in it. Facing Toledo, Brandon Carey, 9 yards as he stumbles across for the touchdown. Marshall, the Thundering Herd, increasing their lead now 21-10. Leftwich to see 97 yards passing. Brad.
All right, John, here 49-30, a minute 45 at the 37-yard line. It's 3rd and 5. Andre Johnson has been huge today. He's up to the top of your screen. Dorsey directing traffic, and do they get it off? Penalty markers. And it's delay game against Miami. This kid has been a winner all but one game as a starter.
Makes good decisions, 37-1. He's a playmaker. He doesn't have great arm strength or mobility, but give me a guy that as a playmaker can make the plays. He has intelligence to get you out of bad plays and into good ones. His quick release, and he's an accurate thrower. And the last of all, he's a competitor. He says the one loss to Washington 3 years ago is what motivates him. He's a fear of losing motivates him more than anything.
Here he is in the pocket. Got hit as he threw, and he's intercepted here, though. And here's Roniel Whitaker. And Whitaker, Andre Johnson's tracking him down from behind. I don't think he knew number 5 was behind him. He was cruising for 50 yards, though, on the return.
I've never seen a game that had so many big plays for one team like Virginia Tech, with the punt return and the kickoff return. Now,
and they're still down 19 points.
The interception, they almost went all the way. Now, the pickoff.
Johnson had that in his fingertips, and it was just swiped out of there by Whitaker.
The ball was right there.
And another scoring opportunity now for Virginia Tech. Down 19, but 1st and goal. Just inside the Miami 10. Suggs cuts back. Suggs, touchdown. It ain't over yet.
You know, this is the same thing that happened in that game last year that we did in Blacksburg. Miami got way ahead and then just kind of put on the in cruise control, kind of coasted, and Virginia Tech never quit. Kept coming back.
That's a reflection of that man you're looking at.
They respect Miami. They don't fear him.
Rushing touchdown number 2 for Suggs. Extra point is good. It's now a 12-point game. So Virginia Tech hanging with the number 1 team in the country. Virginia Tech Miami presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT. It's been a wild one. 49-37, and we still have almost 16 minutes to play.
It's hard to remember all of the big plays that Virginia Tech has had. They've had 2 interceptions that have been returned for big yardage, a punt return, a kickoff return, and then they've had some fumbles of their own that have helped Miami score.
So the kickoff upcoming. Looking in from the Goodyear blimp. Virginia Tech 3 turnovers. Miami has 2 now. And what looked like it was going to be a long game for Andre Johnson. The ball just snatched out of there by Whitaker has turned into a touchdown. One of the up men takes the kick return and busts it out almost to the 45-yard line. That was Humphrey, backup fullback. Nice 24-yard return. A conference crown and a BCS bid on the line tonight. Number 9 Oklahoma takes on number 12 Colorado in the Big 12 Championship. Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship tonight at 8 o'clock, 5 Eastern on ABC Sports, the class of college football. Brent Musburger and Gary Danielson will bring you that one. Here it's Miami leading, but their lead's been cut down to 12. Good field position, though, from the 44-yard line. McGahee, boy, just as quick as a cat on that cut outside. Nice open field tackle, though, by Jimmy Williams. Saved a big gain. That move McGahee just made as he cut to the outside. Points allowed today the most since Virginia Tech in '99. That's the last team in the Big East to beat Miami, is Virginia Tech.
Well, like we said, when you play a team every year, you learn to respect them, but not to fear them. Bob Tech beat Miami 5 years in a row and has lost the last couple.
We played 3 quarters, but if it's anything like the first 3, the fourth's going to be fun, so don't go anywhere. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC stations. That's right. Miami leads at the end of 3. They almost never lose. They lead heading into the 4th, 49-37. They're 160-2 in the last 162 games, leading at the end of 3. McGahee to the 50. Only got a couple, though, and here's a big 3rd down for the Virginia Tech defense, as if they haven't had a few today. But Miami hasn't had that many 3rd down situations.
There's a look at Bud Foster, defensive coordinator.
Bud knows how big this 3rd and 4 is.
The last 3 Miami possessions, 2 of them ended in interceptions. 1 of them ran back for a touchdown.
From the midfield stripe. They'll keep it on the ground. McGahee. And he got it, I think.
Close.
Jonathan Lewis made the tackle, but I believe he got it. And the referee says first down. Remember, the game was 49-21 with 8:45 left in the 3rd quarter. As you see McGahee's effort to get the first down. When that interception was thrown by Jared Payton, intended for Ken Dorsey, the play that Bob said that's just too cute, didn't need that. If they put it in the end zone, the lid's probably on this game.
It would have been a 35-point game if they just run it in.
Here's McGahee with both hands wrapped around the football. You think he doesn't know what ball security is about right now with 14 minutes left?
It looks like what they want to do is take some time off the clock and not score so quickly and just run this thing.
Well, Bob and Brad, most teams have a 2-minute offense, but Miami has also a 4-minute offense. We watched them practice a little bit on Thursday, where all the plays they run are designed to keep the ball in the field of plays. Even the receivers are taught when you catch the pass, no matter how deep it is, even if it's wide open, don't run to that sideline, stay in bounds, keep the clock moving.
That's exactly what they're doing, Swanee. And the clock in their favor. McGahee again, both hands wrapped around the ball. Again, a first down. He has carried it 5 straight times. 7 more yards. Virginia Tech, Miami, presented by 1-800-CALL-ATT, the top-ranked team in the land against number 14 Virginia Tech. Miami having won 33 straight games, and that is the longest winning streak in Division 1A in 31 years. And they're trying to make it 34 in a row and earn themselves a trip to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in Tempe. And they're just that close. 13 minutes left. But Virginia Tech's not making it easy for them.
You would think that the Virginia Tech players are beginning to wear down a little bit because of the heat and humidity down here.
Timeout taken by the Canes with 12:52 to go. The Orange Bowl has been a soggy place to play today. If you wouldn't know it by the scoreboard, 49-37. Miami with a first down at the Virginia Tech 30-yard line.
You got single coverage up the top. They're going to keep running.
They're going to keep running. McGahee again. Couple more. Let's check in. John Saunders, Times Square Stadium. John.
Things going well for Marshall in the MAC. Charles Tynes with a hit on Brian Jones. He coughs up the football. Durant Smith picks it up and goes 36 yards for the touchdown. as Marshall's defense adds to the lead. They now lead over Toledo 28-10, just about halftime. Brad.
And as John said, surprise Marshall in the MAC championship game. That's an automatic. Pretty much. Second down and 8. McGahee. They just keep running the horse until he spits the bridle.
Yeah, and they're running against 9 guys up there too. Virginia Tech knows that Miami's just trying to slow this game down.
Mikel Baki is the guy that made the tackle. You see Romberg and company.
You got a ton of guys there.
Third down and 7 coming up. Romberg looked like his ankle was bothering him coming back to the huddle.
Nobody in the center of the field. You got single coverage.
Dorsey, near side of Johnson. First down on the sideline in front of D'Angelo Hall.
Johnson has been on Hall all day, and he's had his way with him. Dorsey just doing what he has to do. D'Angelo Hall has had a back problem, in all fairness. In fact, he's had a stress fracture in his back.
Yeah. Kenny Dorsey, Bob was mentioning earlier, Rob Chudzinski said when I went to recruit him, he was coming from a high school basketball game. I saw this tall, skinny kid carrying a bag of fast food, and I said, that can't be the guy that's supposed to be the quarterback of the future. I saw him yesterday. He's still a tall, skinny kid. He had a bag of fast food in one hand and a big Coke in the other. He hasn't changed much. And we kid Kenny about his slender build. He eats everything he can and nothing seems to happen. But whether he's slight of weight or not, he's not slight of brains, and he knows how to play quarterback, and he's only lost one time as a starter his whole career. Winningest quarterback in Miami history.
And a very polite young man, because the coach said he offered him part of what he was eating, but the coach felt embarrassed. He was so skinny he didn't want to take his food.
Exactly right. Second down and 7 at the 10. McGahee tripped up. Nice play. Billy Hardy came from the secondary, made the hit. So that's going to bring up third down and about 6. The conclusion of today's game will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. It is third down and 7. Bud Foster knows his team needs a stop. Maybe they could force a field goal. Maybe they could force one and block one. Who knows?
Got a lot of guys up here.
Dorsey to Winslow. Touchdown.
Kellen says, I've been around. That was a great drive for Miami. They reversed the system, the thinking of Virginia Tech. They wanted to take some time off the clock. They did, and they also got the score.
It's a great point. Chewed up the time that Virginia Tech would love to have back, and then put an arrow right in their chest on that pass from Dorsey to Winslow. Seaver's extra point is good. 55-37. Dorsey's second touchdown pass of the day. A rocket to his all-star tight end.
Let's go back to the touchdown. Here's Kellen Winslow, the tight end on the end of the line. Here's a linebacker right here. Out here, all your defensive back and wide receivers. Kellen's just going to go down and run a little bit to the outside. Now he's got linebacker coverage. This is like stealing. He's very quick. I like every time I see him in practice, especially. I like he runs well, he blocks well.
Great hands, and loves to play.
Oh yeah. And what was the coach telling us yesterday about?
I said it earlier. Followed Shockey around like a puppy dog last year, and Shockey taught him how to play tight end. Flag down on the kick. You know, on that last drive that went 56 yards, it was like watching a boxing match. 9 times McGahee was the body shot. They had 2 third down situations, one to Johnson, one to Winslow. Those were the 2 to the head for the touchdown.
Yeah. Well, that, you know, Miami can do it either way. They can be explosive and throw the ball and score quickly, and they just showed you, hey, we need to change the tempo of this game because they've scored a lot of points, and let's take some time in scoring. And they did it on that drive.
And now we're just under 10 minutes, and that means 10 minutes from Tempe for Miami. There's Bernie Kosar talking to Kenny Dorsey, two guys that have been compared in stature. And, you know, Kenny Dorsey says, hey, everybody knows I'm a geek. I go and I watch film at 6 in the morning. I go home. Romberg's got dinner made for me. And he said, and then usually my cat and his dog are fighting over what we made. His cat Stifler, and Romberg's got I think it's a pit bull named Kane. And Kenny Dorsey says, you know, football and going to school and eating junk food's about all I do.
Yeah, he's an enjoyable kid.
Yeah, he really is. He's been fun to be around, and we told him before the game that we won't see him if he makes the Fiesta Bowl, but we certainly have enjoyed watching him over his career here.
300-yard day, 2 touchdowns.
Here's a kick. Johnson trying to track it down and can't get there. Virginia Tech will work from the 20. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by AT&T. AT&T Wireless brings you M-Life, your mobile life made better. Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest lasting trucks on the road. Discover Card, it pays to discover. And Taco Bell, think outside the bun. South Florida, sunshine briefly before the game. Light showers most of the rest of the day, and it hasn't dampened anything the Hurricane fans have come to see. They are 10 minutes away from seeing their team go to the championship game again. Randall off a play action. Eastlake, they've been wide open with that throw out to the fullback out in the flat all day long. Let's check in with Lynn.
Well, Bob and Brad, I've got Kellen Winslow Sr. over here, and let me ask you one question. I want 2 answers.
Sure.
As a father watching your son, how do you feel?
My heart rate is up so high right now. I'm going to have to charge the offensive coordinator Jasinski for my heart medication because my blood pressure is way up right now.
Now, as an all-pro player, as a Hall of Famer, how do you evaluate your son?
You got to take care of business, put them away, and to Kellen, you got to get your head around a little bit faster on those passes. You can't wait until the ball gets in your hands. You got to get his head around a little bit faster.
Now, you came down the sideline, and your son saw you down here, and what information were you exchanging?
Just trying to tell him to get his head around a little bit quicker on those passes. Don't wait so long to come out of the break. Dan Faust was all over me my whole career. Come out of the break, get your head around. That's when the quarterback can make eye contact with you, as you know, and you will get the ball. If you don't look bad, the quarterback's going to go to somebody else.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're doing a great job as a father and a coach.
Keep it up. Appreciate it very much.
Okay.
My dad used to tell me to get my head out of some other part of my anatomy. That's what he used to do. The 43-yard line. Quarterback draw. Randall. And he might have gotten the first down. He tiptoed over there right at the marker. I think he got it. The Winslow family history. And the kid has put up some pretty good numbers as a sophomore, more than Kellen did at Missouri, but of course a long ways to go to be like number 80 was. And Coach Shula mentioned earlier when he joined us in the second quarter the great overtime game between the Chargers and the Dolphins, considered one of the best of all time.
Right.
And they had to carry the old man off
right here on this field. But that's the big advantage that a son of a player, an NFL player, or the son of a coach has. When he tells you something, you know that it's right.
Here's Suggs on the option pitch. Nice play by Sean Taylor.
When Kellen Sr. tells Kellen Jr. something and how it's done, or you ask Sr. a question and he gives you the answer, you don't have to wonder whether that's right or not. You know that it's been tested and you know that it's right. So
last week you told Brian, don't come back 1 week too early. You'd better to come back 1 week too late. He said, well, you know, that's a big game. Now he's starting this week.
He is. Against the Jets tomorrow. He never had much movement anyway.
Oh, boy. That's a slam.
He took after his dad. It never had much movement.
Only when he's trying to jump over his dog coming down the steps. Second down and 12 coming up. I think the referee is just telling both coaches right now that we are going to go with 6 officials. Greg Steed, the back judge, is suffering from cramps, and so We're going to try to go ahead. Bob mentioned the humidity, and even though it has been raining and the wind has picked up a little bit, this is not your normal December game as an official. It's not even normal for some of the players out there. Virginia Tech was sort of hoping for snow flurries today down here. They didn't get it. Randall. Oh, he's smothered by McDougal. Jerome McDougal, the senior 275-pounder, and he got there in a hurry.
Well, he just comes inside right here. He comes inside of Martin, the true freshman. Number 52 is a true freshman. He was in high school last year at this time, blocking McDougal. McDougal is one of the top defensive ends in the country.
Now a bad spot to be in. 3rd down and 20. Randall from the gun. Pressured. Buys himself some time, but here comes the speed of that front wall. This time it's William Joseph.
Tell you what, Brian Randall's going to be a good one. He's only got a year and a half under his belt. He's got 2 more years to play. He finds out how this game works. He's going to be impressive. Defensive ends, McDougal puts a spin on the freshman, gets outside the pocket, and McDougal catches him from behind.
So now it's punting time. Burns has had one blocked. He had one returned 42 yards. That by Parrish, who's going to track this one down on the run at the 16. Parrish got a huge block, got a crease, almost busted free again.
He is dangerous. Roscoe Parrish, redshirt freshman.
29-yard punt return that time. And the block on the play hurt Kevin Jones on the return. For all intents and purposes, Kevin Jones is basically a starting tailback. He's playing the gunner on the punt coverage. How about that hit by Taylor? Wow.
I tell you what, when Suggs graduates this year and leaves, Jones will not be on the gunner on the punt team next year.
Kevin's trying to make sure his jaw still works the same way it did this morning. Meanwhile, Miami leading 56-37, 7 minutes away from going to the championship game again. McGahee flags down, might have a holding call, which we have not had on Miami today. They don't give up sacks, and they don't get called for holding that often. It is a holding call against the Canes. That'll back them up to about the 35-yard line. Time permitting. Stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country, including the MAC championship, the Army-Navy game. A look ahead to what follows us, Washington State, UCLA, and the Dr. Pepper Big 12 championship. All of that with John and Terry when we are done at the Orange Bowl. Offensive leaders, a 300-yard day for Dorsey with 2 touchdowns, a 190-yard day for McGahee with 6 touchdowns on the ground, a record. And Andre Johnson almost 200 in the air and a score.
And Dorsey's had his way. If he wanted to throw the ball, he could do that. They scored on 7 of their first 8 possessions. He had it as well. If they wanted to run the ball, McGahee could get the yards.
501 yards of offense for the Canes. They came in 6th in the country in that statistic. And again, penalty marker. Might be back-to-back penalties here. Nope. Joseph saying it's on Virginia Tech.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And it was back-to-back penalties on the Canes as we check in with Swanee.
Oh, Brad, you and Bob were talking about the humidity and the weather. Take a look at what the temperatures were back in Blacksburg for this week leading up to this game and compare it to the weather here in Florida. Now, you tell me that does not make a big difference when you got to come down and play these kind of temperatures.
Yep.
I mean, you look forward to it because you're getting out of the cold. And from Wednesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, Virginia Tech was practicing indoors because they got about 9 inches of snow.
Yeah, Wednesday it was snowing like crazy in Blacksburg, which is what they had hoped for last year in this game. And we had one of the most unseasonably warm days you can get in Blacksburg the first day of December. Remember that? It was about 70.
Yeah.
And now they come down here in the heat. Art Keel, the offensive line coach.
He's been around for a while.
22 years ago, he was the center on the team. Now he's got Romberg out there.
And he's been here with all the head coaches. He's got 5 rings, 5 national championship rings, going for a 6th, it looks like, here today.
Second down at 20. McGahee. Art's offensive line is going to get McGahee another 200-yard day or so, it appears, providing the pictures. The Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes from high above. Each year the Goodyear Blimps visit over 100 communities and take part in dozens of telecasts of major sporting events, and we always love having them along because we get not only great shots of the Orange Bowl itself in the city of Miami, but some of those replays that you can't replace. When you get that view, you can pretty much see the play develop. Third down.
Grand old building, isn't it?
Sure is. McGahee again. Up to the 45. McGahee 205 yards on the ground. There's a timeout here with 4:49 remaining in the ball game. Miami less than 5 minutes away from a trip out west. Willis McGahee out of the lineup right now, kind of favoring his hip, it appeared, but he gave us a thumbs up right before we came out of the commercial.
39 carries.
That ties a school record. It's a career high for him. The 205 yards betters what he did against Florida when he had 204, so that's a personal high. And the 6 touchdowns, of course, as we've continued to mention, is a single game school record. Punt fielded by Hall at the 6. Trying to reverse field, needs a block or 2, and he got out to about the 14. Penalty markers, though, inside the 10. There's Sean Taylor, who had that huge block on his team's punt return on Kevin Jones earlier.
All right, partner, I got a question for you.
Okay.
You know, the Heisman's coming up. We don't talk about it much, but it's the last game of the year. We're going to vote next week. We got 2 of them here for Miami, Dorsey and McGahee.
Yeah.
Do you think? I think Dorsey was the favorite going in of the 2. Do you think the fact that McGahee had such a good game today will impact negatively on the voting for Dorsey?
I do. I think it might. I think it might. But what you said earlier, I think anytime Dorsey wanted to light up the scoreboard, if they'd have let him, he would have.
Yeah, and that's the way he has been all year. Not wanting to pile it on, and he's all for McGahee, and McGahee is all for Dorsey.
They really are. They're each other's biggest booster. And now it's Randall inside his own 5. Suggs on a draw play. Didn't go very far. Jamal Green, who's had a good game. That whole defensive line, really, of Miami, that's about 9 guys deep, all played pretty well, and that helps in the heat this late in the season to have as many guys you can rotate in there as they have.
Who was the last Heisman Trophy winner west of the Rockies? And what year? I mean, it's been a long time since somebody out west won the Heisman Trophy.
Has to be somebody from USC, doesn't it?
Yes.
Maybe Marcus Allen?
Yes.
That's got to be 20-some years ago.
1981.
And by the way, when you were talking about McGahee having been a fullback, keep in mind, Marcus Allen also was a fullback at USC before he became a tailback.
That's right.
And said just that experience at fullback made him a little more courageous when he went through the line.
Of course, speaking of USC, Carson Palmer was about as hot as anybody in the last 8 games of the season and completely throttled Notre Dame a week ago. And he's very much in that picture, the Heisman picture, that is. Larry Johnson, who we saw demolish Michigan State in a half alone, has got to be a guy that people are thinking about. John's talked about Byron Leftwich today for Marshall, who's had a sensational career. How about the injury marred this year? I guess.
Exactly. How about the year Brad Banks did?
Wow.
At Iowa.
Yeah, you know, out of sight, out of mind. He hadn't played since what, the 16th of November. There was nobody in the country hotter than Brad was for Kurt Ferentz' team in mid-November. So all those guys that were mentioned are probably going to be among the 5 that are invited. Certainly, you would think this guy is going to be one of them. And while there's been a lot of talk about the fact that it is supposed to be for the most outstanding college football player in the country on a per game year, There's no doubt that in the people that votes minds, they're thinking 38-1 ain't bad starting quarterback.
You can't look beyond what a guy has done for his whole career. Ron Dane at Wisconsin had an average year for him his senior year.
Randall in trouble. Down he goes. Joseph. Ball's loose again. They blew it dead. And Joseph and Green and Walters, McDougal and Wilfork and all those guys just keep coming. And they know number 3's got to try to get back there and do something with it. And so it's getting harder and harder on Brian Randall right now.
And boys, before we leave this game, I want to just drop this little bit of information in there. You know, there are 13 players on this team have graduated already, and another 3 will graduate by May of next year. Matt Walters and Jim Wilson will graduate with double majors in a bachelor's degree and a master's. Miami's got 2 academic All-Americans on defense, Matt Walters and Jonathan Vilma. So they play a lot of good football, but the graduation rate, 71.2%, well ahead of the national rate at 59%.
And that's, they bring up a point that really talks about the whole program, and I think Don Shula touched on it earlier in that they reflect Larry Coker, who has won with class. He was a longtime assistant coach that got this job, and he has said, I'm not the only guy that could have come in here and maybe won a national championship and gone undefeated, but they are a great reflection of Larry. And maybe this Miami group, if I can say, compared to 20 years ago, these kids are a lot of fun to be around. And I'm not saying the other guys weren't, but they were a little more players involved in that group.
Having said that, you have to mention Butch Davis's name.
Absolutely.
Because he was the guy that was brought in the mid-90s to turn this around. This is not your Miami Hurricanes team of the 80s. There was a different way of doing things around here. Paul Pasqualoni last week at Syracuse made a comment about there was a late play in the ball game about a pass on a punt. He spoke very favorably of the guys on the other side. They do it the right way, and I thought right there that was big of Paul to say that.
Here's a handoff to Suggs. Suggs got an opening, and the senior captain goes inside the 20 down to the 19-yard line. Our Pacific Life game summary in this one with 2:27 remaining. 49-21. It looked like it was over until Willie Pyle picked off this pass and almost took it the distance. Sykes saved it. They got back in the hunt, but then it was Dorsey to Winslow. That's kind of the one that probably is going to ice this whole thing. And Miami now with 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining on their way to their 12th straight victory. Across the middle, Wilford. And Wilford broke a tackle inside the 10, trying to drag tacklers with him to the goal line, and he got 16 yards. And it's 1st and goal as we check in with John in New York.
Brad, when you're done in Miami, Washington State, UCLA, you see Jason Gesser, and look at that right ankle taped up. Not sure if he's going to start. Remember, Washington State wins and they go to the Rose Bowl, and California and Washington will not miss a minute of play.
That's good to hear, and Keith and Dan Fouts are waiting to bring you that one following our game.
Here's no, they're going to tell you. It's going to be a good one.
Draw play. Suggs is in. Touchdown, Virginia Tech.
You know, what Virginia Tech did in the last 2 minutes just shows the character and the drive of Frank Beamer.
Yep.
What a good coach he is. How he has built this program. He has done it the right way. A couple of years ago, this team was in the national championship in New Orleans against Florida State.
Yeah, with Mike Vick running the show and almost pulled an upset in that one.
And he's continued to do things the right way. They've got good athletes. They've scored 43 points against Miami.
Now they're going for 2 here. We will go over the 100-point mark if this 2-point conversion is successful. And now whistles halt play. And it's going to be a timeout taken by Miami. Tomorrow, we just heard from John Saunders. John and Terry will be at Times Square Stadium. They'll reveal who's in and who's out of the Bowl Championship Series. Don't miss the Tostitos BCS Selection Show tomorrow, live at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific on ABC. Here's the BCS standings coming in, and they are now less than 2 minutes away. Miami is from going 34 straight wins and getting ready to meet Ohio State in the championship game.
If Miami wins, the BCS got it right again. The last, 7 of the last 8 national champions have been undefeated. and will be this year if Ohio State meets Miami.
And that's just moments away, obviously. Now the folks in Georgia, they can worry about their SEC title game because Georgia had hopes that if Virginia Tech pulled an upset that they could go to the Fiesta Bowl. But Kenny Dorsey, you can tell by the smile, he knows where his team's heading. Larry Coker would be 24-0 as a head coach. I want to thank a lot of the folks that helped to bring you all the games all year long that have been part of our crew. We'll do that after this snap for a 2-point conversion. With 1:51 left. 3 wide receivers to the near side and Wilford to the left, and it's Randall trying to zip it in there, and he did. 2-point conversion to Johnson is good. And the score looks pretty good, and you can tell there's probably going to be an onside kick coming up here too with 1:51 remaining.
Well, what Frank is thinking, all right, we're 11 down, we'll get an onside kick, we'll get a touchdown and 2 points, and then we need a field goal. Stranger things have happened.
That is true. I want to let the folks in Washington and California know that you will see the kickoff of your game. The rest of the country will stay with us at the Orange Bowl for the finish of this one that has a little less than 2 minutes remaining. Our technical managers, Joe Caracone. Our production managers, Mike Heskett. Our graphic coordinator is Kay Schumacher. Our computer operators, Andre Dawson. Anthony Holman's our computer statistician. Our assistants to the producer, Ross Malloy. And touchdown, Tommy Hall. Associate director, Steve Fennick. Our associate producers, Eric Posman. Technical directors, Randy Hargrove. The best stat man in the country is PTR, Pat McGrath. And the best spotter in the country is Clint Deans. Our game's directed by Steve Vine. Producer of today's game is Bruce Clark. The coordinating producer is Bob Goodrich. The senior producer of ABC Sports is Bob Toms. And the executive producer of ABC Sports is Howard Katz. 1:51 away from another title game trip for the Hurricanes of Miami.
If you would have told Frank Beamer, I'll give you 45 points, you take it whether you win or lose, I think he would have taken 45 in a minute.
Most points scored against Miami in, what, 3 years? I know it's the past 2 years. There haven't been that many. And now here comes the onside kick. Trying to pooch it into Neverland. Parrish trying to run up on him, and he takes it on one hop. Took a perfect hop to Roscoe Parrish. Today's Chevrolet players of the game. Brian Randall did all he could with both his arm and his legs for the Hokies of Virginia Tech. And Willis McGahee, another record-setting day. 6 touchdowns on the ground. 205 yards rushing is a career high. 39 carries tied the school record. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Been a wild day here at the Orange Bowl.
It has been very similar to last year's game in Blacksburg when Miami was trying to get into the national championship game last year. They went ahead, they kind of slacked off a little bit, then they had to hold on at the end. Not quite as close this year.
And the clock winding toward Tempe. Virginia Tech will fall to 9-4. And they are bowl bound, but they don't quite know where yet. Miami knows where they're heading. Another guy that'll be involved in the future of this football program, Marcus Vick. But he's got some.
He's looking around the Orange Bowl. He's going to see.
Yeah, he says, I'll see this again. Here's Jarrett Payton off tackle. Jarrett Payton into the open field. And he dropped the ball. And he may have covered it. That took a hop. It kind of tells you how sometimes it can be close to going one way and it bounces in the way of the champions.
And you know all of his teammates was pulling for Jarrett to get in the end zone. Hall had an angle on him and then knocks it loose.
They move the sticks all the way down to the 31. I think that's a career long run. It is for Jarrett. 41 yards he goes. Kenny Dorsey looking to the sideline, trying to get a call to come in. Might be the final play. Well, they are going to be Big East champs. We know they're state champs. They're the defending national champs. And they're going to get another crack at it. Can they add 2002 to the list?
They've won 5 national championships in the last 19 years. They're going to go 6. They're going to try 6 for 20.
Empieza la fiesta. Let the big party begin, because Miami gets to go again. They're going to the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, a chance for another national championship. The house where 22 straight opponents have fallen. 34 straight wins for the national champs, and Swanee is on the field.
Coach, congratulations. You've got it. You're headed to the Fiesta Bowl. You got your wish. Your defense stopped Suggs and Jones pretty effectively.
Well, we just didn't stop the quarterback, and just a crazy game. We talked about it, and our players played so hard. I'm so proud of the way they played, just the effort they gave. Because we told them there could be some ups and downs, and certainly there were.
Now, we know you have some offensive weapons, and you had the firepower. But are you surprised by 56-point offense put on the scoreboard?
Well, a little bit against this Virginia Tech defense, because they don't allow many points. But we had a lot of firepower. We had a lot of skilled athletes, and we did a great job on the offensive line. What can you say about Dorsey and Andre and Willis McGahee?
Well, I can tell you one thing. The man that pulled the trigger on it and kept them together was your quarterback, Ken Dorsey. Congratulations. That was a career day for you this afternoon.
Thank you. It was a lot of fun, and the running game really came up big here in the second half, and we had to have that in order to get to the Fiesta Bowl.
Was there a moment out there where you thought you couldn't move the ball down the field?
Well, we felt confident, and we felt like we had a great game plan, and we executed, and I couldn't be more happy with my guys.
Congratulations to you. Brad?
All right. The champions remain such. Can they do it 2 years in a row? We'll find out. But they're going. 56-45 is the final over Virginia Tech. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Now stay tuned for more great college football action. Don't forget Washington State meets UCLA, and later tonight Colorado and Oklahoma in the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. For Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew, Brad Nessler from the Orange Bowl in Miami, where the champions are still champions, and they've got a chance to be champions again. So long from Miami.